This is Outta Nowhere, and it's episode 180. God save us, Moro Ronaldo's privates. Let's go. What a way to start by joking around that you're puking something up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Outta Nowhere, episode 180. We are in the thick of it now, motherfuckers. We are in the fucking thick of it now. The ratings is corrupt. This is not corrupted. Shut up, wrong intro. Listen, I hope you guys appreciate it. We are in the midst of the war between AEW and WWE now. Now it's going 800,000 fucking viewers to each people, each person, each entity, each company. I can't speak because I just watched that replay back and that was gross. But that being said, man, it's a fucking war and it's on. And Jake DeMarco's in the house. What's up, Jake?
What's going on? Yeah, war of a margin just over 6,000 viewers.
Yeah,
both shows went up. It saw
up.
An increase, only 4% for NXT, but AEW up almost 30%. That's the big number there.
Yeah.
Wow.
A difference of 6,000 viewers. AEW obviously with 851 and WWE NXT with 845. So, I mean, it's a good thing. This is what I want. I want to see them both thriving. I'd like to see them both over 1 million, but
well.
I had expected AEW to actually do a bit worse this week. That was my initial prediction. I thought NXT would still be. I thought NXT would be where they are, close to 900,000, and I thought AEW would be a bit lower. But thankfully, they're both on the upward.
I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was close to what I said. It wasn't quite on though. I don't remember. I think I said that AEW was gonna go back to the sevens. But I thought NXT was going to be close too. I think I did say that, actually. Somebody tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure I said both would be around 700,000 each. I think I said one would be 740 or something, and one would be 720. Instead, they were both 800. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I knew that they'd do better. Because here's the reason why. I can break down right now the reason why AEW had a bad week that week. And I'll tell you right now. Everybody ready? Good. NXT drew an average viewership of 55 years of age over those Thanksgiving shows. The average viewer of NXT was 55 fucking years old. That's NXT. The average viewer of AEW was 45 years old. Therefore, NXT had the older audience. The average audience last week was 55 for NXT, and it was 45 for AEW. Here's why AEW lost, kind of. And this isn't about making excuses. I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit if AEW loses or NXT wins, or I don't give a fuck either way. I don't care. I just want to see some fun wrestling.
I mean, they're fighting over 800,000 viewers.
Right.
You know?
but here's the point. Here's why they lost by such a dramatic amount last week. Fucking people at families' houses. That's what goddamn happened. 45-year-olds, the average viewer, so the older you get, anybody over 40 years of age, anybody 40 and over, a lot of single males and loser motherfuckers were at home watching wrestling, and they weren't going out to their families and all that bullshit. But you know who does get dragged out to their families? Kids.
Yep.
And even people in their teens and 20s and college years. They all go to family shit still.
Yeah, they're traveling back home from college. They're,
right.
On school break, etc.
There were multiple videos about, oh my God, wrestling's in trouble. And it is. This is not, I'm not saying this isn't true, because it is. It's true 100% that there's an older demographic watching and they're not making new fans. That is 100% true. But it was highlighted this week because the demo for the first times were that high. They were at 45 and 55. Normally they're at 35. Normally the average viewer is like 35, 30, and then 40, like 30 to 40 years old. Now this week suddenly it became 40 to 55. The reason is because these motherfuckers who were 60 and 70 and 55 and 50, they were at home watching this shit because they weren't going somewhere. They were either divorced, they're people of dead, like they don't go anywhere anymore, or they were at their house, so they watched what they wanted to watch, or they were home early. They weren't fucking going around at 9 o'clock traveling on Thanksgiving. But anybody who's active 40 or under is definitely going all these fucking places. And if you're 25 and under, you may not really have like a choice. Like your parents expect things to go on, especially teenagers. That's why that demographic dropped off. So there were people making videos like, oh my God, the teens are bailing on AEW last week. Like these people have stopped watching. It's like, no, they didn't stop watching. They were there last week. They weren't there this week. Guess what, guys? They're back this week. Because they were fucking eating turkey or Aunt fucking Tiffany's cunt at Thanksgiving Day meal. That's what they were doing. So even though wrestling is dying, and even though wrestling does have a problem with making new fans, 100% I'm on board with that. That is the reason why those numbers are so tilted, because all
obviously
those people
it was a
traveling.
Week,
Yeah, but those people don't think that.
Thanksgiving is one of the busiest travel days of the entire year.
But people don't. These people were making videos like,
oh, I know that.
Oh, they're dropping off.
The end of days for AEW, and I mean NXT managed to hold on to its stranglehold over the 15 over demo, but AEW since launch has had that 18 to 35 demographic lockdown too. So they each have their own, subsect of viewers. Did you say subsex? Subsex. That's like dom and sub combined.
Yeah, get some down below. Did anybody get the notification tonight? I feel like we're having another one of those fucking nights, man, with this fucking notification shit itself.
I got one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Usually I don't, so.
Yeah. Well, for that 49-year-old champ and going strong, someone says in the chat. Yeah, that 49-year-old champ is like the best thing in the company.
Best thing in wrestling.
Maybe the best thing in wrestling, yeah. I mean,
hard to argue against it. I mean, we started to have that little conversation last week, I believe it was, when we said, who would you take over? I think it was the Rushmore debate, and we said, who would you take over And between Jericho and Bret Hart, I would say Jericho's the more complete package. Being able to revitalize his career multiple times, reinvent himself throughout the years, still be able to wrestle to this day.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's been one of those guys that's been in the business for a long time but hasn't left his mark. If he stopped in 2001 or even 2002, he wouldn't be super memorable, but he would still be, prolific in the history books. But there's other people that have been in the business for ages, 2 decades, and don't have the star power that Jericho does. So that's something he always managed to be in the forefront of whatever he was doing. He was always memorable. He was always extremely entertaining, and that is just very, very impressive when you think about it.
Yeah,
especially when he wasn't being pushed and always, the most utilized at times, and even when he was in the mid-card scene, and he managed to just take hold of, and captivate the audience.
Eventually, people are going to get tired of it, though. They're going to have to, make sure they start getting other people going. And, Darby Allin was going, and then that injury, like you said, hopefully he's back next week because, believe it or not, Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc and those guys being gone is noticeable. It's kind of like, I don't know, man, they were starting to build that, and then when it goes away, I noticed it. I thought Joey Janela did good with Moxley in the main event. They only gave him 9 minutes, but I love the clothesline spot on the fucking ramp. That was one of my favorite things. Inside out clothesline on that big ramp. I just wish the ramp was a big steel one. That would make a big like a big sound. Like that thing just sounds like it hurts. It's just boom. Boom.
It's just that concussive beat doesn't sound.
It's like
it doesn't sound pretty.
Heavy, shitty plastic. Yeah, that's what that ramp is made out of, man. I'd rather have that steel or that truck steel that you land on that's hollow feeling. It kind of has a little bit of a vibration to it. That rubber or whatever just sounds like shit.
I've never been a fan of the ramp that goes all the way to the ring either.
Oh yeah,
I know it's such a obscure nitpick, but it doesn't change the product at all. It's just a personal preference. But I just never liked that look.
Let me take Ahmed's call here. He's calling up.
Let's try it.
Well, he's calling on Skype, so he should be able to get through.
We'll see if the sounds come through.
Although I took his call and he didn't come through. Well, if I take his call, it should come through. I don't know why I lost him though. Let me go to the donations there real quick and see what's up with the people out there. How's the chat feeling? Are you guys all tickled down below? Let me know in your donations tonight. If you want to donate tonight, the link is in the description box down below. Streamlabs, Twitch alerts, all that bullshit if you want to support the show and keep us going. Or you can just use the super chat $sign feature at the bottom. All the bullshit. Otherwise, you can become a member tonight as well. And you get all the cool icons and badges and shit. And over the months, it adds up and you get a big heart on and all that other bullshit. Gonna be shouting out patrons tonight.
What else we got?
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff.
Give me the bubbly.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Well, it's time for Outta Somewhere. We'll take some calls, talk some news. We're even going to talk about Roman Reigns and how he never drinks the booze. Yes, Jake DeMarco not from NY and Joe Cronin are going to blow your wives right here on Outta Somewhere.
Outta Somewhere. Aru Shinchu. What up, Aru? Thank you, man, for the $3, bro. You want to hear that song? I'll find it, motherfucker. Let me see here. Aru Shinchu. I'll put you on the board early. I'll put someone on the board early. Fuck it.
It has to happen.
I'll put you on there. Aru's 28,000 months in a row subscribed on Twitch. Aru could take home that JCS Digital Championship tonight, and you brought it up. So we're going to go ahead and dig it up, man. We're going to go ahead and dig up Justin Bailey's old intro song to Out of Nowhere, Just For You, and I found it.
Here we go, classic.
Here you go. Sit back and jerk off to this.
I was sitting down, touching myself.
Oh, my God.
I was sitting down, touching myself.
Wait, that's not it. What the fuck is it? Oh, here it is.
Well, it's time for Out of Nowhere. We're gonna take some calls and talk some news. also gonna talk about Roman Reigns, Adtr, JD,
DeMarco,
and Joe Cronin are gonna blow your fucking minds right here on Outta Nowhere.
Now that's not the original one. That's the fucking second one. Where's the goddamn original one? Son of a bitch. Where's the goddamn original one, Justin Bailey? Do I have it? Why don't I have the original one? Song, theme. This might be it.
Well, it's time for Outta
Here it is.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Take some calls and talk some news. We're also gonna talk about Roman Reigns and how he's never gonna fucking lose. JD,
DeMarco,
and Joe Cronin,
Connor.
gonna blow your fucking mind.
Well, now I gotta edit that part out.
Right here on Outta Nowhere.
Thanks, JB. Thank you very much. Thank you for going back to 2016, JB. Much appreciated. Love you, JB.
Super Chat Party.
What up, Beely?
Go see what I posted on Twitter.
Why the fuck did it just read it like that? Why did it just read with that voice? What is going on this week? Like, the Skype doesn't work right. This doesn't work right. That doesn't work right. That voice? What the fuck was that voice? It just... What the fuck? Did you hear that, Jake?
Go see what they posted on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm listening to the stream so I can hear the audio.
What the hell was that?
Go see what they posted on Twitter.
Did it change to like...
Really, I already brought it up. Onision freaking out.
We already brought it up a week ago.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I was talking to Joe beforehand. He's a genius because he revitalized his channel with all this freak out stuff. He went from getting
What did he send me on
views
Twitter?
to 250,000 viewers, per video, if not more.
What did he? What did
he tagged us in a video of Onision's today's freak out.
Oh, he's got a new one. Yeah, I mean, I've been on this
same
all
shit.
week.
Him
man.
dumping stuff on himself and screaming, and I want my Patreon back. It's
it's funny. Well, I mean, he's got to capitalize on something.
well, that's what he's doing.
I mean,
so.
dude, $5,000 is gone, and that's all his income.
That's what you get.
I'd probably kill myself.
I'm so against deplatforming people, as well. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Until something's
like I said,
proven.
the balls on him though. He's goading everybody.
He ain't in jail, man. He ain't in jail. Why did he lose his shit? I mean,
because he doxed his ex there.
yeah, I know that is true. That he fucked up there. You can't do that.
Yeah. So,
But
and was getting her, sent.
I give it to him, man. If I was him, I'd be dead. He's a pretty strong guy. He's making crazy videos. It's funny. I'd be dead. I'd be like,
Well,
what?
he's freaking out because it's getting him money. He's smart.
Not really, though. It's not really getting him money.
Well, it's people. He's getting people to redirect when you click on his link to join his. He has the join option, like memberships.
Well, he's got to create a I told him this. Well, they'll take that away. He's got to create a subscribe star or his own website.
He has his own website too, but
he's got to create
that's all going to go. The FBI's knocking on his door soon.
You really think the FBI is going to get him for something?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's enough shit deep in that rabbit hole.
Well,
he's got underage, girls' photos on his. It was all allegedly, but you've seen some evidence of it. So,
All right. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I feel like they would have got him already. This has been going on for years.
Well, they just now started an actual investigation because Chris Hansen got involved.
Yeah, Chris.
It was always people being like, "How is this possible? How is he still on YouTube? How is he still on Patreon?" This guy's an alleged pedophile and child groomer and all this stuff.
He's definitely some kind of groomer. That's definitely there's something to the grooming thing about it.
Oh, I mean that's
weird.
Proven with text and videos and
yeah.
He basically from the latest, victim testimony, said that she was forced into a sexual relationship, and the next morning she had to sign an NDA about it. And
all right, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
people don't know
crazy.
what we're talking about.
What did you think of AEW kind of trying to right their wrongs, but with MJF saying that he was the one responsible for sending the Blade and the Butcher and the Bunny?
It made no sense. And why does Excalibur know about it? Why does Excalibur know who they are? Like, I mean, that's still driving me nuts.
that was weird. So Excalibur shouldn't have known, and now MJF is the one responsible for them being there,
which is retarded.
I get what they were going for. They were trying to at least explain some things away, but it's odd.
Yeah.
And why not include that on the TV program if that's your plan?
Yeah, I don't know what I just don't understand. Like, there's too many goth groups. Like, did
you know there's 4?
Did you know there's 4 goth groups in AEW
I
now?
got that message so many times today.
Yeah, me too.
From so many people. Did you know that there's 4?
People were sending me like anything that's goth. Like, people sent me a picture of Marilyn Manson from 1996, and they said, "I'm gonna tell my children that this is the 5th group leader in the AEW," like stuff like that. I was fucking dying on Twitter today, but thank God Twitter's back for that reason, because that's pretty funny.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
and apparently the commercial that I was kind of critical of it is not the doing of AEW. That was apparently, according to Dave Meltzer,
TNT,
something that TNT did.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm not surprised there either.
So that makes sense with, because AEW says these things and like we brought up last night on the review, that are they're very outspoken about, we're not at war, we're not, this and that, and very focused on themselves. And then they have to, we're better than NXT. And it just seems so hypocritical. But apparently it wasn't their decision for the commercial. That was strictly on TNT from what Meltzer says.
It could have been.
Which at least makes sense if that is the actual truth.
Why did they want to target NXT though? Like, because they didn't pick any other reviews but the ones that were like,
because that's the
NXT.
ones people focus on. Is they're not up against WWE Raw or SmackDown. They're against NXT. So they want people that are watching NXT to be watching AEW. They're not trying to get new fans. They're just trying to take WWE's fans, it feels like.
I tweeted out that I just didn't have a problem with it. I was like, I guess I don't care. I mean, when it comes down to it, those people wrote that. So I don't care if they used it. Those people wrote it. Like, I mean, the New York Times or whoever the fuck. They're probably all friends with, like, the Khan family, though, or fucking Ted Turner or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. So.
I mean, the Rap, like, comic book something. Like, I mean, NXT is, AEW trounces NXT, like, and stuff like that. I guess I didn't care that much about it. I was just kind of like, okay, it's kind of funny, but
it's just another notch. I cared more so because they've just been on this crusade to say they're not at war, and and then they just do things constantly, from the throne to we the people sucks and it's bad creative. Well, if that's bad creative, then why did you bring back the list of Jericho? It wasn't a joke. You did it to get yourself over. So it's just another thing to make people pop.
Let me try to see if we can hear this guy on the call right now. Hey, caller, what's up? Maybe not.
What's up, Joe? What's up, Jake?
Oh,
What's
shit.
going on?
Dude, you know what I just did?
It's Ahmed, bro.
Oh, that's the wrong guy. I'm sorry. I put Ahmed on earlier. My bad, Ahmed. I thought you forgot you were here, to be honest. I thought I had such problems with the audio. I didn't know you were even here. But yeah, what's up? What we got?
Yeah.
You fuck it.
Yeah, I'm calling on Skype. It's almost 7 a.m. in Egypt, bro.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
You're up with Awonddy right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming to New York like in 2 weeks, maybe. It's always back and forth. But
There
anyways,
No, stay out there. This is the wrong time of year to come back.
Unless you're going Santa.
Goddamn snow out here right now.
Yeah, I know it's snowing bad, but right now in Egypt it's like super hot.
Oh yeah, then I don't know. I'd rather be cold. Yeah, I'd rather be here because you can put the heater on, but there it's just like you're just dying.
Yeah, I don't like summer or hot at all. So
yeah, it sucks.
Can't wait to come back. But my question to you guys is, so I'm not watching Raw anymore, to be honest. I only watch your review.
Yeah.
But What do you think of, like, they always now kill the surprise returns? Like John Morrison, they just announced it, and CM Punk. Like, why don't they do, like, on the show anymore? Like, get them and their entrance songs and surprise the fans. Why don't they do that anymore?
CM Punk, I understand because he's not really signed with WWE, but I still don't understand at the same time. I think Fox should have worked something out where he appeared on WWE TV and then did the Fox show, but I don't think he wanted to do that. So CM Punk wouldn't do that, so they didn't do that. So I get that one because he just wouldn't do it. But John Morrison, my theory with that is that they think that nobody really remembers anyway or whatever, that no one's really going to care that much if he comes out. It won't be that big of a deal, so let's announce it ahead of time, I guess. But I disagree. I think that was bullshit. They should have...
I disagree with you there. I think their idea is that, or at least their current insight on the business is that they feel they get more out of social media interactions. I mean, they always tout themselves, #1 trending and 50 million subscribers. So if they can get the Twitterverse buzzing about, oh, look at this, because it was trending #1 for quite a while. Oh, Morrison's returning. How great is this? I loved him back in the day. I'm so glad he's coming back. Like, he hasn't been wrestling for years now, elsewhere. It's just, but I think their hope is if they can get that on people's minds, then they'll tune in to see his return when it's time.
Yeah, they wanted to be the ones that broke the news. I feel like the
actual fan loses out on the surprise aspect of it. So, and I don't know what the correlation is between, announcing it beforehand and getting more viewers or doing it as a surprise. They must have some type of metric that's known, because I don't imagine they would do it if it wasn't beneficial to them.
But what if he comes out randomly on a show, who knows when? I mean, then it's just
that
what...
would be...
Yeah, that would be so much better.
Would more people tune in the week
but I mean, like, what if
him?
now?
Because let's say you got 2 million people watching Raw, and he comes back surprisingly. So those 2 million people, some are tweeting, some are sharing. Oh my God, I can't believe it, and it goes viral. But you're not getting more viewers.
And then next
at
week,
that point,
they're gonna get more viewers. Like next.
Are
week,
they going to have more viewers
after.
next week now that the surprise is already gone, or are they going to be able to if they announce it beforehand? Are there going to be 2.5 million people because, oh, look at this person's returning, so I have to tune in to see this. That was kind of instead of surprising you with Stone Cold at Madison Square Garden, they let you know he was going to be there, and it showed that the ratings increased because of it. If he just came out as a surprise, would they have gotten more viewers?
Yeah, but what
Probably
if
not.
what if John Morrison now does show up randomly in the next anytime in the next 4 weeks? It's like, so he's still...
If he does, then I have no idea what they're doing, and my theory is dog shit. But
it's already...
I think that they will announce it beforehand.
Do you actually think that they'll do anything with him? Like, I give him 2 months, and they'll fuck him up. Like, it's gonna be boring, it's gonna be nothing, and maybe he's gonna have a sex life with Lana or whatever.
Well, so like when John comes back, like they could look at it this way. #1, we break this news; it trends everywhere. Then 6 weeks later, we announce, or 3 weeks later, whatever it is, we announce John Morrison's coming to Raw next week. So now they get the breaking news, the trending, the announcement. Then weeks later, they announce he's going to be there, and then they check out the numbers. And then he is there. So they get these 3 things. The announce that he signed, the announce that he's debuting again, returning for the first time, and then they get the actual return. So you get 3 things instead of just one sort of surprise in front of whatever. So I can see what you're saying, and the numbers and the metrics, that could mean more to them. So yeah, well,
it entices more people to tune in because they're not going to have more viewers suddenly. He already debuted.
We all lose out again. But but the constant viewer, the regular viewer, loses out again.
Those are the ones that are paying every week, and buying network subscriptions and tickets and merchandise. They're the ones that lose out because of it.
So this is more over scripting and all that type of thing. This is just another dumbed down, less excitement stuff going on. So that's all I see. Is less exciting.
They're bringing the free version of the network next week, supposedly.
Right. Yeah, that's a big thing too.
That first free tier of the network is supposed to begin for all users next week.
Thanks for the call,
I'm curious
bro.
to see how that week, works out for them. And it'll be everything you get with WWE.com, but they're also going to offer timed previews and specific WWE content that you won't be able to access except on that free tier, for the network. If you have a paid subscription, you'll get it, but I'm saying it'll only be available on the network. So I guess they're trying to, again, get people to subscribe more, but it's interesting to see if that'll work.
Official Cobra in the chat said, "Do you think it's worth an extra 1 to 2 million viewers, though?" What are you talking about, John Morrison? No way.
It won't be 1 to 2 million. I
like
10,000 million viewers. It wouldn't even
because of John Morrison. What? Because of John Morrison?
That was my example.
Oh yeah, no.
I said.
Do you want to know how much?
Giving numbers.
If WWE announces that John Morrison is going to be on Raw next week, there'll be no more than 50,000 people will tune in for that. Less.
Yeah, and that's high. That's
yeah.
Really
I'm going up high. It could be 8 to 20,000. It's not a big number.
I mean, a lot of people tuned in to see Stone Cold, but that's Stone Cold. It's not, I was just giving that as an example to, so it's easy to digest. But
there is no way. He's not even worth that. I mean, he became better when he left WWE. Like he became,
quite a few people. So
yeah, but like the
regular,
a lot
of the current product viewers don't even know who he is.
Yeah, a lot of the casuals, the main casuals now have been around for the last 3 to 7 years.
Yeah, which he hasn't been a part of.
And he wasn't there. Yeah, and I didn't even like him back in the day because I didn't think he was that good, and he wasn't. And then he got better and better and better. And then when he left the company,
I enjoyed
he
him
got better.
with The Miz, but once they split,
yeah, that was the best thing. Him and The Miz.
Yeah, the dirt sheet was great, and I liked them as a tag team. But once that was over, I saw no interest in either of them for a while. So, unfortunately, like you said, once he left, he really got to adapt and change his character around, and he became an all-around better wrestler. And I don't know if that's WWE's fault for not giving him ample opportunities, but it could be argued.
Yeah, man, and I'll figure out these phones eventually, guys. I know there's just something
we were
wrong.
trying. I couldn't even hear you for quite a while in the beginning, so I mean it's been really weird.
I don't know why Skype is fucked. I mean, I'm gonna have to test some things out later. And may have to get a 1-800 number or whatever. I don't know. And get a phone system or something. Because this is a mess. Like, we can't... And even the sound thing isn't working now.
Yeah, I can't hear the donations. So, and it's hard, too, because you want to... I noticed when Ahmed just called in, he couldn't hear me at times. So
yeah, that's been happening.
Because it cuts for him, and then I cut for, vice versa.
And then people are like, why not Discord? Well, because Discord doesn't have phone numbers you can call in on. And number 2, Discord is awful with... You have more than 2 people on the call. Everybody can't hear anybody, so it's even worse.
There's such a delay too at times. It really, unless you get that paid for server, which
I didn't know that. Why is it better if you pay for it?
It gives you like a dedicated connection, so you can connect directly to their server and then use that for voiceover. But
I mean, if that makes it so everybody can hear each other, I'd pay for it.
But if we do a video call, you and I through it.
Yeah.
Then you can't do callers because it's a 1-to-1 connection.
Oh.
So there'd be no video on my end, or
which
I'm not worried about. It's just the point of
I could take them on Skype though. Then probably I could take the Skype calls and they'd hear you. They'd all hear everything.
Yeah, I just wasn't able to hear them when we did it that way.
No, you should be able to hear them. You'll be hear all my sounds.
I couldn't then.
Oh, well, you should be able to. If we're both on Discord talking, you'll hear all my computer sounds. I've never...
when we did that for a little bit, I couldn't hear the calls.
Well, that doesn't make sense, but we'll figure that out. But
something to look into. AEW Dark this week apparently is going to be a really great showing, as we heard from a few callers last night that were there. Scorpio Sky is going to take on Jimmy Havoc and Peter Avalon in a triple threat. You also have Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt taking on Alex Reynolds and John Silver, and then Kenny Omega takes on Kip Sabian, which a lot of people said was a great match as well last night. Not giving away any spoilers for the winners there, but you'll want to tune in Tuesday night.
Yeah, I heard
and another big thing is Marty Scurll may not be coming to AEW, which I find very hard to accept. But Meltzer was talking, a few of the other news sites as well. I had seen kind of reporting that Tony Khan is not willing, according to Cage Side Seats, offer any big money deals right now. They initially offered him a very nice, package, but Ring of Honor gave him apparently an even better deal that, according to, like I said, different sources, Tony Khan's not willing to match at this point in time.
I bet you Tony Khan leaked that out.
Try and get people to think that he's not coming anymore.
Yep, because they had this
merchandise
T-shirt.
was leaked.
Yep.
And we saw, the AEW Villain Club and Villain Enterprises hoodie and shirt on their merch, shop. So it almost seemed like it was a done deal. But hearing this, like I said, I'm not sure I believe it. I always take it with a grain of salt, but it is being discussed, so it's something I wanted to bring up to you.
That, or maybe he's not coming, and maybe that's why they. I don't know. I mean,
maybe that's why the merch.
I think he's coming.
Was pulled quick. And
I think he's coming, man. I think this was leaked out to people,
because he was the only one that was. I don't want to say left behind, but he was the only one that was left behind.
Well, even Flip Gordon, man. Even Flip Gordon, is still in a Ring of Honor. I mean, if Ring of Honor is smart, they keep these guys. You got to keep these fucking guys.
That's why they are offering him a massive deal. That seems to be definitely true.
I shit on Ring of Honor last week. I went on a fucking rant about them because they let all these guys just rape their company. And it's like, if anything, Ring of Honor just has to lock them up so AEW doesn't get more guys showing up over there. And they've got to play Vince McMahon. And they've got to keep these guys no matter what. Just because. And that sucks, but you got to do something because you're bleeding. Ring of Honor is bleeding to death right now. Super Chat party. Yeah.
You would really do that?
Bullfrog, club sign of the horns, light skin tone.
Why is it reading like that? It's freaking me out. Why is the voice different? What in the fuck is going on with the reading voice? Good God, man.
Wow.
Let me play another one. I want to see if another one does this. Or if non-super chats are doing this. This is freaking me out. This is really freaking me out, guys. I don't know what the hell happened to Gerald or whatever from the UK. Bullfrog Club. Remember how fun it was when we first heard that voice? God, this voice is retarded. What is this? It's freaking me out, man. It's like really freaking me out. Like a lot.
You are fucked.
Super Chat Party.
Wish Jake could hear these.
Why DVR does not count in ratings?
Why DVR does not count in ratings. Gelfman, thank you. Why is this happening? It doesn't count in like the Nielsen ratings and things like that, I don't think, because they have digital ways on the boxes and registration information, so they know how they rate certain things. When you're on like YouTube TV or Hulu maybe, or one of those sites, I don't know if they report or if they don't report or how they report, to be honest. So I don't really know. Jake might know.
Nielsen Company collects traditional television ratings they choose a specific like cross section of sample households. So they'll do, high income, low income, inner city, suburb. They try and have a real mix and diversity of people.
Did you know that there are 4 goth groups in AEW?
Dude, this is a different voice. Again, I swear that's a different one too. What is going on right now with these donations, man?
A little bit of the bubbly. Want some bubbly? A little bit of the bubbly.
Chizhiiknees. What up, Chizhiiknees? That guy actually sounds like he's using my microphone. That sounds like my microphone. A little bit of the bubbly. It sounds like that. Like, hey, Joe, did you watch AEW last week? A little bit of the bubbly. Like, it just sounds like that. It's weird. It's fucking freaking me out. Why is the voice different? I did not change anything. What is going on? We need one more to play. We need we need a second one to play. This is so messed up. Please be normal.
What else we got? Oh,
what
a
is
little
this?
bit of the bubbly. That's it.
No, it's going to read
bubbly?
that.
Look at this
it's
stuff.
all super chats are reading this way.
A little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
So I'm digging the alien chick and I like her music too.
Wait. Now, okay, so the regular way, only super chats are reading weird. Okay. All right, super chats are the only ones reading weird. I get it. So that used to be a female voice that we had. The alien chick, you like her music, Swizzerve. What up, Swizzerve? So you're talking about the chick that faced the Japanese girl, right? Or no, the other girl. I don't remember. Yeah. She's been okay. I think that's why they gave her another shot this week.
At the Chicago game tonight, they announced CM Punk as a Fox channel is not a WWE superstar. He was at the game.
He's never been a WWE superstar. They announced him as Fox channel from the Fox network. CM Punk, 27. Freddie Mitchell. What's up, man? Well, I mean, they should do that because he's not. He isn't in the WWE. He signed with Fox, so that makes sense. They wouldn't say he's in the WWE. It'd be a mistake if they did. Here comes. Oh, whoa! It's
$9
Schleppy.
for a fuck. Someone donated 9. I'm getting hard. I got 9 inches inside of your wife. $9. I'm shooting my semen to the ceiling. I'm coming and my balls have turned blue. $9.
That's me shuffling semen.
Suck my dick.
Schleppy, suck it and fuck it.
I'm here to announce my new goth faction with Monica and Heistman called the Bitch, the Beaner, and the Black Guy.
The bitch, the beaner, and the black guy. Oh fuck, Schleppy. Now that is a group I can get behind, man.
The Bitch.
I was in a cover band called the Bitch and the Bastards once. That was kind of a cool name. And then we realized like we couldn't. I was just sort of filling in for them for a while, like a couple of years off and on. And then they realized when I left the band because I was like, I'm done doing these covers and whatever the fuck, and I'm making enough money. And they asked me to come help them one other time when they'd changed the name, and I was like, really? Because people love the Bitch and the Bastards name. People would be like, wow, that's the cool name. But like, bars and some certain people were like, oh, we're not gonna sign them to play. And so they changed their name to Cherry Bomb. And I was like, Cherry Bomb? I was like, aren't there like 100 bands called Cherry Bomb? That's fucking retarded. Everybody's called that.
Cherry Bomb.
It turned out there was like 50 bands called Cherry Bomb.
Come on, Mom.
This was way back in 2006, though. But yeah, it was dumb. I was like, the Bitch and the Bastards is cool. Cherry
Or
Bomb?
Sadgasm. Yeah.
Sadgasm would have been better, yeah. Or like ruboneout.com.
You remember that did you see that with The Simpsons?
No.
Where Homer was basically Kurt Cobain?
No.
And he formed the first grunge band. That's how Nirvana got their sound.
Oh, maybe I did see that. What season is it?
It's from a while ago, but
I
don't know. It's one of the more newer ones, but I've never seen the clip go viral.
Then no.
I didn't see the episode. I saw the whole clip that they showcased, though. It's funny.
If anything from The Simpsons that's season 7 or before, I know it. But if anything,
I know all that by heart. I know up until like season 10.
Yeah, after 2000, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
We have on the phone though, on Out of Nowhere, and you guys can call if you have Skype and you add me on Skype, Danny Deadly on Skype. Broken Lion.
Oh shit.
Hey, what's going on, Joe?
What's going on?
It's early enough. It's early enough that you're not drunk yet.
Well, yeah, that's only on Friday nights. But no, I was calling because I was just driving around thinking, how much if John Cena were to show up to AEW, how much of the ratings do you think he would draw into AEW?
Oh, dude, I think if John Cena appeared in AEW, they would probably gain somewhere around 500,000 viewers.
That's close to what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least 500,000.
Yeah,
just because of the spectacle of it, of him being like the WWE guy. It's not just like they're getting anybody. John Cena was the face of WWE, so that would look like such a betrayal to Vince. And that has like more story than just getting a new wrestler.
There's
so much deep behind that would be why people tune in.
You would
even
think
people that
about
don't even watch AEW, they don't even like it. I'm saying would tune in because it would be such a spectacle.
And then wouldn't it would be even better if he just turned heel? Like his first night there, he just turned heel.
They'd be doing the Hogan then, basically.
Yeah, start shitting on the children.
I mean, that's basically what I was getting at, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I'd do it. I'd be like, dude, let's just copy that whole thing almost. I mean, they copied shitty angles already. Why not copy a good one? I mean, they've already copied fucking, hey, pledge yourself to me, Brandy, and I'll cut my hair. Oh, like, I saw this in the fucking CM Punk fucking Straight Edge Society already, and it was kind of shitty then, and although that was all right, this is shitty.
Somebody was
though.
trying to argue against it, saying like, well, Punk didn't wear a belt of anybody's hair, so it's not the same.
Oh, wow, yeah, that makes it different, huh? Like, who the
hey,
fuck?
Joe, thanks. Well, Joe, hey, thanks for taking my call, and fuck Drew, and Detroit, what? Detroit, baby! Woo!
Tigers, baby.
Already fired up.
Let's have a couple of fucking kings of the fucking... Now that's a fucking beer. That's a fucking beer I'm drinking right now. It's down my throat. Yeah. So you'd have about 30 to 50,000 John Cena fans who aren't watching anything really right now, who would hear about it, who would tune in. You'd have about probably 100,000 or so WWE fans who haven't been watching NXT or AEW, who would hear about this and tune in. And you'd have about 200 to 300,000 like casual AEW fans and flip-flopper NXT AEW channel people who would definitely watch that. So
then you'd have quite a bit of loyal WWE people tuning in to see what the hell is happening too.
So you would get at least 500,000 in my opinion. So if let's say
at
AEW,
the very least.
So AEW would probably draw, well, I would say I'd go with the number drawn instead. I would say they would draw 1.5 million people to 1.8 million people. Probably 1.8 million, because their debut was 1.3, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, so I'm expecting 500,000 new people, and then everybody who's ever watched before anyway. So 3, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 1.8 million, maybe 2 million, maybe you could get to 2, with John Cena. So and we might be underselling it. To be honest, we might be underselling it. I think it would even get more. It would get more maybe even than CM Punk, because I think CM Punk is good for 300 to 500,000. So it could be more than CM Punk. It would be so wild, like that would be. I mean, it's not going to happen, but John Cena would not do that.
No,
unfortunately,
it's funny to consider though.
Hogan was like jaded, and in money talk to Hogan, money talks to Cena. That's why he's in Hollywood. If AEW was Hollywood, if AEW was like, yo, Cena, we got $20 million for you, come on over here, well, then you might get him. But I'm pretty sure he's signed for the next 3 years with WWE.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a dumb thing kind of to think about, but, people...
It's still funny to consider.
It's fun to consider the number, but it shows you just how bad things are, though, because it would still be that bad.
Yeah, speaking of fun to consider, I'll get into that in a second, but I have some fantasy booking that might come to life that I want you to hear about. But first, some of the people that reached out to me via Twitter were kind of surprised that I thought last week's episode of AEW Dynamite was worse than this week. I thought this week was a bit more improved.
Yeah, I thought it was better this week, yeah.
I thought this week was certainly better. I know you agreed. We both gave it a 6. I would take Jericho... building up new talent over his celebration any week. The celebration was fun for what it was, but it didn't accomplish or really do anything. It was just there for the laugh factor. At least this week, he went ahead and was able to, elevate, Jurassic Express and all that, get them to a title match on the 18th. That's what I'm really curious about the ratings. Matt the Misfit and I were talking about that earlier, because both shows are booking themselves to basically be pay-per-view status, since they won't be on the following week. Right. There'll be no AEW or NXT live on Christmas night. So the 18th we have the WWE NXT Championship with Adam Cole versus whoever wins the triple threat next week. That's interesting to see. We're also getting Shayna Baszler taking on Rhea Ripley, so that's huge for the Women's Championship in NXT. I mean, that's beyond takeover status. I'm really excited to see what they do there, and they have quite a few other announcements and matches coming. Who is it for? It's Finn Balor, Keith Lee, and Ciampa in the triple threat. So whoever gets that faces Adam Cole. Plus, we're going to see more from Dakota Kai and Mia Yim, and the NXT Cruiserweight title is being defended next week, but it should be defended that week as well.
Right.
And then on top of it, AEW is going to have their championship match. So that Jungle Boy is taking on Chris Jericho. And I believe that what I had last heard is that the tag titles might be defended as well. So
damn,
that's certainly interesting. So we're going to have to watch both shows live that night, as it's going to be must watch on both sides. So I'm really curious to see what the ratings are going to be. They're not going to be back until January 1st. So
yeah, that's going to be
they have a whole week off.
Wait, who's going to be? Wait a minute, who's going to be off?
They're not going to be on Christmas, so the 18th is the last show of 2019.
What's going to happen that Wednesday night? Just a repeat or something, like a
repeat
highlight
for
show?
Both NXT and AEW.
That's going to be interesting. Take a whole week
because that's
off.
Christmas night itself.
So they're not going to film anything in advance or anything?
Nothing. They're just airing a repeat.
That's weird, man. I guess that makes sense. I mean, just run highlights.
Because they said, what's the point if people are going to be busy and not tuning in? They saw ratings drop the night before Thanksgiving. Actually, on Christmas, I'm sure it'd be even less. So what's the point, really?
Right. I guess, yeah. I guess I see.
So both brands are really, trying to step it up as much as possible and give you pay-per-view quality shows. And that's when I think, that's a real night for them to battle out in the ratings.
Right.
Oh, you asked before. Basically, the easiest answer for Nielsen, I'm trying to DVR doesn't count because the ratings go by viewership. And the DVR, just because you DVR'd it, doesn't mean you're going to watch it. How many things do you have in your DVR that you haven't even watched yet?
Yeah.
So it doesn't count. Just because you recorded it doesn't mean... So once you actually go and click play, it reports back to your cable provider, and that data is sent, whether it's, TiVo onwards. That data then goes through that you started the episode, what you fast forwarded through, when you paused, what every bit of information is sent back to the cable provider. But if you don't play it, they can't count it. Plus, the DVR ratings do come out, but they come out like 2 weeks delayed because of the time shifting nature of DVRs.
Okay, I can see that.
So there's a lot of times I recorded NXT last night with the DVR as well as AEW.
But DVR will count.
I watched NXT on my computer though.
But DVR will count though. That's the thing. It will count on DVR though. Eventually, if you watch it.
If you watch it, but it's not that initial ratings report. So.
Right.
It takes a minimum of 2 weeks sometimes.
Okay.
So that's basically that. As we started to tease with fantasy booking, it's being discussed right now. It started with Eric Bischoff and him speaking on a few different podcasts, saying that one of the things that he would like to see that fans have been clamoring for, and which might be a possibility for WrestleMania, is that we would see Hulk Hogan take on The Undertaker, and that would close out both chapters definitively. Hogan's been campaigning for one more match. A lot of people are feeling, especially with the way the podcast went, that this would be the last match for The Undertaker this year. And, it certainly seems like something they would do for Mania.
Seems like, wait a minute. So did you say Undertaker and Hogan?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, man. Undertaker and Hogan?
What a disaster.
Jesus Christ, Undertaker and Hogan? I mean, that's better than Vince and Hogan, I guess.
Because that's what he's been pushing for. He wanted to face Vince McMahon. They had a poll recently with WWE.com and an email poll as well, asking people, what would you want to see for matchups? What do you think of the current product? And one of the, top votes for that was to see Hogan and The Undertaker. So,
oh my good God.
Bischoff said, it had been discussed, and with it, he said with again, a guy with a career like Hulk Hogan, if he's able to wrestle, God bless him. If direct quote this is, if that's what he wants to do and he's able to make that happen, I'd be the second happiest person in Florida that night. But it's hard for me to imagine that he'll be able to get ready for something like that. But who knows? He's done it before. And he's right. Hogan's 66. He's had dozens of surgeries, and he says that he's in ring shape, and for his body, and he wants to go ahead and desperately have one more match.
I just
as
Hogan doing it
and crazy as it sounds. With everything we heard with the podcast, with the Undertaker's body, he wrestles a match and then his body hurts for months on end. He's constantly in pain, and for him, it's pretty much all ego at this point. He thought he was going to be done several times over. First at 30, then again at 33, then at 34, and then he had the bad match with Goldberg, so he had to come back right away to get that piss poor taste out of his mouth. And he said it's just a matter of ego. So it seems like he'll be done sooner than later at this time, though. His body just can't keep up. He said it's getting harder and harder for him to do so.
Yeah, I just don't know why then they would go to Undertaker and Hulk Hogan. I mean, you would think Hogan would be in the ring with a guy like The Miz or somebody like that. Like, you get in a fight with The Miz and be like, The Miz would be like, you couldn't even dream of getting back in the ring right now. You couldn't wrestle 10 years ago, type of thing. Like calling him crippled Hogan and stuff, and slapping Hogan, and like your marriage didn't work out, this didn't work out, all that shit. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, and now what are you? A broken down bionic piece of garbage, like with no hip, type of thing. Like then you have the match with The Miz where They lock up in the beginning. Hogan gets a couple shots in, knocking The Miz down, and then The Miz comes back, beats up Hogan for a few minutes, and then the Hogan Hulkster hulks up for the last time ever. Boom, boom, boom. The boot, the leg drop. Maybe The Miz even kicks out, and then Hogan throws him off the rope again and boots him again, and then drop another leg. And the Hulk Hogan wins. Whatever it is.
Yeah,
if
he
it's
can
over.
even do the leg drop at this point.
Oh, I bet you he would do it. I bet you he'd be like, brother, it's the last time. I'm going to fucking do it, So, and he had that surgery. So Hogan does the last leg drop ever. I am in on it for this reason. It can be fucking 4 to 5 to 6 minutes long.
Not even. And look at what they had with Cena, and we enjoyed.
Well, no, but it would be long only because of the drawing, like the pacing, the looking at each other in the ring for a minute,
the Hulk up to the crowd and playing to the crowd, yeah.
And he's punching, he's hitting Hogan with everything, and I don't know who would be the one to do it, and I'm not saying The Miz, but anybody, whoever wants to be the one to job to 90-year-old Hulk Hogan. Well, it's stupid. If Hogan really wants to do this, and they really want, I just want to have this last memory moment, whatever the fuck. I mean,
it doesn't hurt anything if it's not, burying somebody entirely, and people would have an interest to see Hogan one last time. You can't tell me that people wouldn't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 6-7 years since his last wrestling match in TNA.
Yeah.
So it's not but to go against the Undertaker, that doesn't make sense to me, because
it would be like the end of the legends, basically. Yeah. is the mindset behind it. Two legends, their last dance together, but closing the final chapter for both men.
So you're saying
like this would bookend both careers. This would be it.
Really?
Two testaments to the wrestling all-time greats clashing one last time to basically end their careers in the squared circle at the biggest stage of them all. Well, it kind of writes itself in a way,
but who's going to win?
Massive career.
Who's going to win?
I would say Hogan would win since the streak is gone.
Yeah, but I mean, all right, so I can't get on board with those two legends ending, but I could get on board with Hogan's last match against Taker. And I would assume that if the match was given to Hogan, that Undertaker, believe it or not, would win.
If Undertaker's retiring as well?
No, he's not going to retire. I'm going to say he won't retire.
You're going to say he's not going to be done, because that's what they're leaning towards here, is that Taker would be done this year. Well, this would be it for him. His body's really hurting. It's getting harder for him to keep getting in shape each time for the ring.
I find it hard to believe that these two are going to get in the ring together, but let's say
I do as well, but it is something just
To me, this is like the Ric Flair leaving, the Shawn Michaels leaving. This is Hulk Hogan. He comes off the rope, he drops the leg. He's desperate, he's old, he can barely move. But the Undertaker's in better shape. He can barely move. And he drops the leg, and the Undertaker just takes it and sits up. And then Hogan, he tries again. The Undertaker picks him up, which, by the way, it's going to be tough for the Undertaker to tombstone Hulk Hogan. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's going to be tough.
Because Hogan can't give his weight forward and lean and... Yeah, he's going to be very stiff and basically a dead weight.
So Undertaker's going to have to somehow pick up Hulk Hogan without dropping him, and tombstone the massive, out-of-shape 70-year-old Hulk Hogan to the mat, and that's going to be Hulk Hogan's goodbye send-off. The Undertaker will leave the ring like the Undertaker, but Hogan will do his goodbye, probably cry in the ring, and probably be cheered, and he'll leave.
Get his huge ovation. Nate said that as well.
And then Biggie Langston will come out, and Biggie Langston will proceed to whip him. Dead serious. No. But no. So
it's Jordan Miles coming through the crowd.
And then I could see the Undertaker's either done, or he does retire at Survivor Series, or the Undertaker does come back one more year. That was to kind of give the Undertaker one last believable hurrah, and then he gets one last deal at WrestleMania the next year. That's what I would do if you really were going to do that. Sending both of the guys off into the sunset at the same time and having Hogan win? No, I can't do that.
I'm not a fan of Hogan winning, but I just would with his backstage politicking. But then Vince is such a Taker guy. They are such close friends that maybe that would be. I don't know. It's certainly it's believable in the way of them this would be it, the match to end all matches. The end of the true end of an era. For everybody, the last of the legends.
Yeah, I mean, I get that theme. I mean, I think
because that sounds like something Vince would be jizzing all over.
Why not have them?
That prints money. That literally is like, oh my God, HBK interferes. It's a triple threat.
Well, I could see. I could see it.
Might not do the honors easily. No, Badmon. But
you could book two different main events with both of them. That's the thing, though. Think about that. You put Hogan against whoever. You put Undertaker against somebody. That's two different.
But they didn't even use Taker this year.
I know. I don't get
heard
that.
About that early because they didn't want to go through the whole rigmarole of him beating somebody just to beat somebody, and they didn't have a story that fit to use the Undertaker. And he wanted to be a part of WrestleMania.
The story should have been he comes out and he fucking buries somebody. That's what it should have been.
We thought he was going to do that with Elias, and then he didn't. Cena came out with the Thugonomics. So.
Well, they did do it. It was on Raw
the night after. Yeah,
I mean,
but not at WrestleMania. I mean, I'm still baffled by the fact that he was not at WrestleMania.
What did Elias say? It was fucking hilarious. He was like,
"The next one to interrupt me is a dead man."
Next one, dude. I started.
It was so good.
Dying.
He sold it so well.
I know. I was dying at home, dude. The next man that interrupts me is a dead man, and then it was just like, dude, it was so bad. It was so bad, but it was so.
It's so good at the same time. Those are the things that I like. That's why I like Elias. That's why I was happy to see him come back on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I just genuinely enjoy him. I don't give two shits about Sheamus. They're not going to chant this, you look stupid anymore with no more Mohawk, but apparently they have a push and plan for him as well. I worry with that. He's never interested me. Sheamus, I'm sorry. When he was the WWE champion, when he accidentally pushed John Cena through the table at TLC to win the title, and you had Jesse the Body saying, "Oh, it's a conspiracy that they're not pushing Sheamus," and there's it's a conspiracy.
Why isn't Sheamus being pushed? He's like the most professional wrestler-looking man they have. Vince McMahon, he probably wouldn't suck off Vince McMahon. That's what I think. Because there was all kinds of rumors back in the day, and I wondered myself, because I wouldn't be caught dead sucking the cock of Vince McMahon, but some of those guys might. No, I don't know. So, I'm down with Hogan beating somebody, How about this? How about Hogan wants to come back and... Oh, no, you can't do this. Never mind. I was going to bring up the whole racial
I was
thing.
there for that. Yeah, I like those corny moments too. Truthlock said, when Heath Slater said, "It's Slater time," and then Vader came out, I was there for that at Raw. And it was great. You see Vader come back.
Too bad
and
Vader
crush
never
him.
got put in the fucking Hall of Fame when he was alive, when we were campaigning for it for 3 years while the guy was dying.
I know. Terrible.
Assholes.
Such a travesty.
Dude, it definitely called for it to be there. They didn't like Vader, though. From their perspective, they brought Vader in. They had a good time for about 6 months, and then they became annoyed by him, and then eventually he left. So that's...
Yeah, look at how he was treated, and then he was revered elsewhere, especially in Japan. He was this, huge deal, and then they got a hold of him and they just ruined him quickly.
Yeah, and I thought Vader was great back then. I was like, man, I thought he was going to be good, and he had a great little thing with Shawn Michaels. Come to find out, Shawn hated the fucking guy. But yeah, he was just getting it done, man. And shout out to the chat, man. We got from 500 viewers all the way up to 1,000 within an hour. That's not bad, man. We're
at 1,100 now.
Heading up on the ranks.
Out of nowhere.
And right now, speaking of that, live donations are active right now, so if anybody wants to chime in, feel free to do so and give us some of the bubbly. Schleppy is the top donation right now from Schleppy. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I heard that, and I'm like, I can't wait to hear what Joe in the chat thinks, because it's just I genuinely see that happening because of the way Vince is. That to me, that he's all about those like epic tales. You hear the orchestra dun 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 in the background, the end of an era.
Yeah.
He's always been able to push this, and he loves those type of narratives. I could see it happening. I don't think it will.
The sad thing is,
think it will. But
Undertaker said they planned the end of an era match with Triple H. It was probably going to be his last one.
He thought that was his last
on that
when that
podcast.
happened, and it was natural when they, it wasn't a planned thing for the three of them to stand up on the ramp arm in arm together.
But they're going to go back to an end of
on its own.
End of an ended era. Is what they're going to go back to, because Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Undertaker, end of an era, right there. And I know that Hulk Hogan was around at the time, but when Undertaker debuted, it was WrestleMania 7. Hulkamania had already kind of run wild, and he was still around for a few years. Undertaker did beat Hogan for the belt.
Yeah,
it was an assist from a steel chair from Ric Flair, but he still beat.
But it still happened.
And they never really got to. The only time that they finally got to, I believe, lock up really was probably during the American Badass thing when Hogan came back. During that time,
they bloody the hell was that No Way Out when they beat the hell out of each other. One of those.
Yeah.
Remember Hogan bleeding like a stuck pig. It was his usual.
Yeah, because they needed to give him blood back then. Even back then, it was 2003 or whatever. 2002,
2003. Yeah.
Yeah, they were and dude, I was marking up because listen, as much as Hogan, the actual Terry Bollea man, sometimes is a very we all have our problems, so I'm not here to judge anybody. I've said some fucked up shit myself, but this guy's had some major problems. I think he's changed a little bit, but I think he's also always been this kind of conniving bastard, you know what I mean? And, again, I grew up loving this guy. I didn't know any of the stuff that happened now. I was a kid, and he was Hulk Hogan. He was the shit. And I marked out every time I saw him, whether he turned in the NWO. When he left WWE, I was pissed, WWF. But, I started watching WCW because of Hogan, too, to be like, that's the guy I love. What's Hogan doing over here? What is this wrestling company? I don't even know what this is. And, when he came back to WWF, it was this is crazy. And to think about, we're talking about in 2019, he wants this last match. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they booked Steve Austin in a match, too? Stone Cold in a match. They must be wanting to.
They've wanted that for a while, and it just.
Would he be the referee? You think they could coax him into being the fucking ref of this thing?
Oh, they definitely could do something like that.
Oh my
I don't think they
God.
can get him to wrestle, but they certainly can get him to, be the enforcer or something. I certainly see that happening.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm down with it because I'll take anything at this point to entertain me because the regular product is so bad that I will just take anything at this point. Just give me stuff because the week-to-week Monday Night Raw sucks. Super chat.
Are you feeling hot? Are you feeling hot?
I'm feeling super hot. I'm so old school. I'm feeling really scared that these donations are reading this way. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling fucking terrified.
You are fucked.
Here comes Ahmed Omer. All the way in Egypt.
I'm gonna finish it on your face.
Thanks Joe for taking my call, and to the chat, I'm sorry it's 7 a.m. did not sleep, so yes, my voice is annoying, and to Don J in the chat, I'm not a 9/11 terrorist, but you can go ahead and blow me. Love you Joe and Jake. Hashtag Team Cronin.
Ahmed is not a 9/11 terrorist. Come on, man. He's from Egypt.
Yeah, you'd probably have some more energy if you went over to my Amazon, Ryback, feed me more. Try feed me more energy, okay? Feed me more, gurgle.
Wow, okay, Ryback. Thank you, Jesus. Christ. What the hell's wrong with Ryback?
Welcome. You've got mail. Goodbye.
That is what it sounds like. You've got mail. That is exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like the fucking AOL guy. Sounds like the goddamn AOL voice. You've got mail. Goodbye. Web browser. Error number 7. Bry Guy, thanks, man. I don't know why, but super chats are reading with a super weird voice tonight. I don't know what happened to the female that used to read these fucking things, but something has clearly happened. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Daily wrestling videos. We're live after every WWE, AEW, and all that stuff event all the time. And, of course, every Thursday night now. Used to be Wednesdays. Now it's every Thursday night out of nowhere at 11 p.m. Catch us every week right here. Take your calls. You can add me on Skype, Danny Deadly, DANNY, DADLY. Or just send me a friend request so we can add you on here. And usually you can call 339-226-6610, but there's something wrong with the fucking phone lines. So, sorry about that.
So, we haven't had much of a build for TLC so far, as we know. This week will be the go-home shows, and next Sunday will be the pay-per-view, and the last of 2019. Unfortunately, we have no matches officially announced. We see advertisements for what's going to be there, but nothing official at this point.
Right.
And it's said via, this is on Ringside News, they were discussing it earlier, they said 2 other matches as of right now on the books are likely to be changed. Which is Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy, and the Viking Raiders defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So these are likely not happening now. So they've been building, Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black for a few weeks now. So you're not going to have them face off at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's really odd. And same thing with the Viking Raiders not having done anything of note for weeks and weeks. I mean, Survivor Series was their first real, high caliber match. So having them not defend the tag titles is just as bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I wanted him to be involved in a weekly TV storyline, so there was something going on. But once they did this, I wanted their story to be on the main event, on a pay-per-view.
Yeah. And then it's also being discussed, both with Wrestling Observer and Fightful, that they might use a holding pattern with the Daniel Bryan story and set up something where, Daniel Bryan, because of, the hair being ripped out of his head this past Friday, he's either traumatized or something along the lines of that, so they can put off the feud till the Rumble, give them a little more time to develop things with this, because they want it to be less rushed, and have The Miz face The Fiend at TLC.
Why the fuck would he face him after he's like, don't do this? Don't do that. You know what? I'll do it.
Because originally they were going to have The Miz as the opponent for Bray Wyatt. And now he's kind of like you had just mentioned, the voice of reason to Daniel Bryan.
Why, so he's going to face him, but he's telling Daniel don't face him because you'll be destroyed. But then he's going to face him?
Yeah, he'll
that makes
eventually
no sense.
Be attacked and goaded into facing the Fiend, and that's what'll happen. And they're saying it might not happen again.
It makes sense, except the fact that he's like, think of your family and think of all these things. Well, what about your family? Now you're gonna face him? It's weird.
It's very odd.
Luis Antonio Alejandro, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh my God!
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much.
Holy hell, your microphone is loud. What's going on, man?
It's probably my phone. Yeah, it was my phone.
Okay, god damn.
There we go.
Well, also the problem is when Skype first takes a call, it's always like got the volume up high, so it was like double that. But yeah, what's been up? How you doing?
Oh, really, really bad.
Really? Well, you watching wrestling?
No, I'm just calling in to say, hey, maybe Skype updated. I mean, Streamlabs. I'm sorry, may have updated. That's why the super chats are a little bit wonky.
Yeah, I think they updated something. I probably have to go over there and reselect the other voice.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and about Brock, yeah, I could be right. Just remember, I could be right. Right after the Royal Rumble, he will not be at Elimination Chamber. He will not be at, what's the March pay-per-view? Fastlane.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, I think, what did we agree on, Jake? I think we agreed that, I mean, I think that all I know is he's booked for Rumble and WrestleMania. I don't know if he's booked for anything else.
That's all we have definitive right now for his schedule. We have him on 2 Raws leading up to the Rumble, I believe it was said, the one after the Rumble, and then nothing until like 2 weeks before Mania. And that was what was confirmed for his contract. But this is how they usually do with him. They set up these dates, and then they have to pay for extra dates with Lesnar. So that's not uncommon. He could eventually be scheduled for Elimination Chamber or Fastlane. It doesn't mean he 100% won't be. It could happen. We've seen him miss other dates and shows before, which is unfortunate since he's the champion. But they could also pay for him to add dates to his current contract. They had to do that in previous years.
Damn it.
I would prefer to not have him there either, but wow, with him as champion, you need him there. That's really what it comes down to. You just need him there.
Yeah.
It's certainly, there's a lack of star power when you don't have even, him without the belt. It certainly adds to the show. But when he's the champion, you really feel robbed with him not being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like those are the dates, though, yeah.
I went back and I was looking through my phone for photos the other day. I was trying to print something for Christmas, and I saw TLC. Money in the Bank, excuse me, for when my daughter and I went, and I was dying laughing at my reaction because no one knew that Lesnar was going to get that briefcase, and you just hear me like swearing up a storm, like, "No, son of a bitch!" I was so pissed there live. Oh, terrible. I still hated that, but it was funny to get the memes afterwards with Lesnar and his boombox.
Anything else? Whoa.
That stupid boombox. The Money in the Bank boombox. Oh my God. That's like the only thing that I've liked in 2019 when it comes to Brock. Other than that,
yeah, they tried to give him some kind of personality with that because everybody was talking about it and everybody was doing their own boombox thing or whatever. So they were like, just give him one, just give him the shirt and everything. So it caught on for a second, then people made fun of it, and then they backed out of it real quick.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't let that. Well, he also didn't have the briefcase for long either.
Well, find the pot of gold yet?
Yeah, but the Money in the Bank briefcase this year. Definitely was a waste. Why put it on an established guy only to cash it in?
Yeah.
And then face the same person he faced at WrestleMania, who he defended the championship against, only to cash in and then lose again at SummerSlam.
Yeah, the Money in the Bank has been a complete waste of time for everybody.
Yeah, I mean they had Bailey cash in the same night.
This thing's dead.
Which we knew was coming. And
thank you, Alejandro. Appreciate it. Appreciate the call.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Have a great night.
And stay away from the weather.
Oh yeah, I can. I was shoveling in it. Yeah.
We got more snow coming now. It's snowing here.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm okay. I'm gonna be all right. Yeah, it's. Please no more. Like, are you serious? Like, there's more shit coming
already.
How is there more coming? Why is it coming? All right. Do you have? Holy shit! Is there any? What happened to you? Are you okay?
I'll be all right. My pot of gold. So
you sure?
Apparently, WWE didn't push Corey Graves. Punish, excuse me.
Here comes a super chat.
Vince likes him.
Is Nyla Rose on the call?
No. No, Nyla Rose would be like, hey, it's Nyla Rose. It's me, Bruce Jenner. I just got in a car accident with a fucking woman. It's me, Bruce Jenner.
Doopsie.
El Ghetto. What up? Say it like the white guy. El Gallo de Oro. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So Morrow came back, received a massive ovation during his NXT return last night, rightfully so. And you know, you were pretty well spoken on the issue the other day, like you said. You know, there's so much to it. It wasn't even that much of like a deep bully-some tweet. People have said so much worse, but knowing his issues and mental status and how he handles things could be handled a lot different. And apparently, this is according to PW Insider, that Morrow, you know, the whole situation was kind of looked at on him, and Graves was not punished because Vince loves him.
Well, of course. I mean,
the direct quote says, "I was told this week when all of that went down that nothing is going to happen to Corey Graves. Vince loves Corey Graves." So Vince does love him. I don't know why, but he loves him. And it makes sense because you can see how Corey's used. He's got his own podcast now.
Why does Vince like
these
Corey?
sort of things.
Like, it's like he just
I don't
likes
know, but
anybody tall that, like, whatever. He just likes tall people.
Maybe because he's a bit crass and tries to be edgy as well. Vince tends to enjoy that as also. He likes JBL, you know, those kind of, I don't want to say like bully-some types, but you know what I mean? It's just, and then it's also funny to hear that Vince had big issues with Dio Madden. So,
yeah.
This is, who was reporting?
Well, he was tall too. He was a tall guy too, but he was boring as shit.
It said that, you know, obviously Dio Madden's going on and on saying that he wants to be the one to retire Brock Lesnar, but unfortunately, he's being sent back to the Performance Center. Vince and Kevin Dunn reportedly didn't like Dio Madden on commentary. They took him off commentary by writing him off with the Lesnar attack. They were going to try to retrain him, but now I guess they said that no more. They don't want to bother with it, and he's going to be trained to be a wrestler. So
isn't he already been trained to be a wrestler?
With his height and weight and size.
Well, that's what I took from that, too. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, I think Dio Madden actually was nice. I like him as a guy. I like him, and I like that he kind of portrayed this good man, like
goodwill,
respectable, good-willed man, but very big and imposing, though. And I liked that. I thought he played that really well. He stood up to Brock, and he came off fine. But as a commentator, he was okay, but it just wasn't anything special, and I think that's why they got rid of him. But also, all I could think about the whole time, every time I saw him, was like, get this guy in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Get this guy in the goddamn ring somehow. I mean, I don't know what he can do or what he's going to be able to do, but, you know.
Let's at least find out. So that's why they're letting him train at the Performance Center.
And as much as, you know, I don't know, man. They need characters up on that main roster. They need real characters. They need people who are characters, not people who say they are. Like, for instance, like and listen, I don't want anybody to come up from NXT. I get it. I want to keep them all in NXT, please, because they're just going to get terrible when they come to the main roster. But the WWE could use a guy more like Velveteen Dream on the main roster than a guy. And I'm not saying don't have him on the main roster because I love him, but Ricochet. I'd rather Ricochet just be Ricochet and come out instead of being like, I believe in superheroes, and you know about superheroes? Shut the fuck up with the superhero shit. It sucks.
Yeah,
but
Superman is not, you know, getting pinned.
But if Velveteen Dream is cutting promos,
stand up.
But if Velveteen Dream was cutting promos and he was like, the Dream says that tonight you're gonna see your own blah blah, and says something, and then he comes out, it's like, oh, cool, I like that. He's a character and he's cutting a promo. Ricochet just doing the whole I'm a Superman, like, no, stop. Please stop it.
It's that's what I was going into on my channel the other day. You know, that's why I was making the reference to Occam's razor. You know, the simplest answer is usually the most prevalent and easiest to digest. And people like good versus evil. That's what it comes down to. Think about when everybody really got behind Seth. When did he really catch fire? When he won that gauntlet match and, you know, was trying to go ahead and take down Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's when he was really getting elevated into that position.
I mean, I'm just so sick of you little meth head devil worshippers.
That scared the shit out of me.
I'll be honest, I'd like to take a big bite out of your face.
And you still can't hear these.
I bet TLC will put me to sleep and it'll be there. Super excited sleeping face.
T-Rev24X. By the way, T-Rev, I'm sorry that you donated a couple days ago and I'd gone off stream or something too, by the way. I was still wondering about that. But thank you for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. And, you know, the goddamn space aliens are going to try to molest us. I'll miss Alex on YouTube.
The women's tag team match. That's going to be a good time. Because apparently they're planning big spots for that match. They want to make it really impressive since it's the first women's TLC match. Between Becky and Charlotte versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
They want to make that something memorable. And it's not set to headline as of right now. So, thankfully.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
But,
bubbly?
You know,
bubbly.
Really, like I said.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
What if Shane McMahon is the one managing the AOP, having them attack Owens, and we get the Shane and Kevin Owens feud to continuing forever?
Oh God, what if I jumped off the Empire State Building with a cinder block tied to my nuts? Like Robert Heller. What up, Robert? Thank you for the $3, Robert. It's good to hear from you, you bastard, you sexy piece. I need to get that girl voice back. That is creeping me out.
I just heard it again on the stream playback. It's so weird.
I hope that does not happen, though. Seriously, Robert Heller, please, God, don't let that happen.
Yeah, Seth started to really get over when he was going up against Lesnar because Lesnar was the penultimate bad guy. People were sick of him. Yeah. They didn't want him as champion. He wasn't showing up, and they booked it that way. They labeled Lesnar as everything that was wrong with the company and part-time guys getting all this extra stuff. So it was easy to get behind Seth because it was more of an ideal than a character. You like the idea of Rollins toppling the Lesnar shit creative, you know, Lesnar not giving a crap and not, you know, only being out for himself and the money. So the fans got into it and they cheered Seth on. And what happened? He won the belt and he had no one to face. There was no other bad guy in line that could step up to Lesnar's credibility or level. So then we got Baron Corbin. People didn't give a shit about Baron Corbin. So then they tried to add Becky into it, again, making it more convoluted. Like I said, instead of keeping it simple, they tried to add more elements and stipulations and, you know, oh, we're going to make it a mixed tag match. And if either of you lose, then Baron Corbin's the champion. And the fans didn't give a shit about it. It fell flat multiple times. No one cared because Baron Corbin isn't a believable heel. So then we went through this you know, realm of shit, and it took us so long to get through all of it.
Well, he's a believable like mid-card heel.
Yeah, he's great, but he wasn't on the level that Lesnar was. So the fans got bored with Seth. And what happened? Seth went on Twitter and bitched, oh, people are booing me. And so then the people like him less. And it just kind of, you know, mirrored each other back and forth.
Well, that and they can't tell a goddamn story. I mean, you could create a person and have a story.
Exactly. It's not all on Seth here. I'm saying with creative, absolutely, you know, and Vince, and there's so many factors to be, you know, placing the blame on here. But it was just, it's easy to see how the dominoes fell the way they did because, you know, why is Seth treated as such at this point in time by the fans? So because, you know, we kind of gave up on him because there wasn't a reason to believe in him.
His promos suck too. He comes out and goes,
but
I'm telling you guys, what a night. No, we could go back to all his promos the last 15 weeks. It's always like, I'm telling you guys, every time I come to Seattle, you guys just absolutely kill it. Last week, Baron Corbin said that I'm going to come in the ring and I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Well, that's how he wants to do it. I got no problem doing that because I'm going to burn it down. Like that all is just lame shit. And that's his promo every time. And
but he was giving the same lame shit on the way to Mania too. It wasn't really much different.
We shit on him for that.
Exactly, but it was still easier to get behind him because we wanted to see him topple the bad guy. Once they took away that element and there was no other creative storyline in place, who are you going to take your anger out on? On Seth. All the cracks start to show.
Well, that's because the people created...
these promos really suck now, and he's really boring, and he has no character. And unfortunately, Seth is himself through and through. Him and Colby are Seth and Colby are one. So him talking on Twitter was exactly what we got with Seth. It wasn't like I made the comparison. We saw The Undertaker and then Mark on Twitter. No, it was Seth and Seth. So people took out their frustrations on him. He became more, disdained and frustrated with the fans. And then it turned into this big amalgamation of people booing the shit out of him. And he took it personally. Suffice it to say, it's not all him. It's not all, but there's so many things at fault here. And the problem is because they made it so convoluted. They don't want to have stars. They get rid of just keep it simple. You need a really good guy and a really bad guy. That's what works. That's what we believe in. That's what you get behind. You can have tweeners, but you need something just simple to sink your teeth into. Look at how bad it got with the Becky and Ronda storyline last year.
Oh yeah,
I was so excited for that match. Come around Survivor Series time. By the time we got to Mania, I couldn't fucking stand it. I didn't want to hear another thing about it.
I think I just found the voice.
Did you?
The voice is reset. That's so weird.
There we go. Alexa Bliss, voicing her frustrations about, she says, I remember a time when I was given a microphone in the ring, good times. There's people that can speak. There's people that can't. They refuse to let anyone develop more character. We're going to see Becky take on Asuka at the Rumble this year. That's the tentative plan at this point, so that it continues the story of what they had happen last year.
Right.
Okay. So that would have been great, but now having them, she's going to still be possibly the tag team champion, or Becky will have the tag titles. By the time you get there, you've seen them fight so many times in different ways between her and Charlotte and Natalya and Becky, and tag teams, handicap matches, TLC matches. It doesn't feel special anymore. You've taken something simple, a simple feud as she beat me last year for the belt. She took it, and this year I'm the champion and I'm going to show him the better woman. Now it's, we're also the tag champs and I'm the double champ and no one gives a shit at that point because they just beat you over the head with it. It's so unfortunate, but they have good ideas, or at least the foundation for a good story or idea in front of them.
I think I might have fixed it. I don't know. I don't know why, but the wrong sound is playing with this donation still.
Love you guys. Do you guys think Rhea is gonna take the title off Shania? Then she can insert into the Rumble? Who do you think is gonna defeat Adam Cole for the belt?
Yeah, I think at some point it feels like Rhea Ripley is gonna probably take the belt off Shayna Baszler and kind of reign as the NXT, the face of the women's division, at some point. Don't know if it's going to be now. But the Villain, thank you for that, man. And what do you think is going to defeat Adam Cole for the belt? Maybe write these down, Jake. I'll come back to Jake on this in a minute after I get him unmuted. What do you think? Who do you think is going to defeat Adam Cole for the belt? The Villain, thank you, Villain, for the $21, and you are big time by the Villain. The Villain, and he's going to go on top. Top donation of the stream is now by the Villain. He's going to take home that digital title.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I, for one, don't know what you all are talking about. I personally loved the Lana Lashley Rusev storyline. Her acting is way underrated and Lashley is physical jaw drop. Rusev is hurting inside. You can tell he doesn't like Lana taking the BBC. I come.
Lana Backwards, thank you very much for that donation, Lana Backwards, which of course is anal. But thank you for the $3, much appreciated. I don't know, I just don't like. It's okay. It'd be okay if everything else was good. If the rest of WWE was good, then that would be
a little
okay.
bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Give me the bubbly.
Ricochet. A superhero that takes it up the ass. Oh, a little bit of the butt plug.
A little bit of the butt plug. I mean, didn't he finger blast his own ass? That's the video that we saw, right? Awonddy, thank you for the $3. Listen, I love Ricochet, man. I really do love him in the ring. I've always known he wasn't the best on the mic, but he's the best if you could be honest and just be like, I'm going to go out there tonight, I'm going to do what I have to do. If I get hurt or if I hurt him, somebody's going to get hurt, and people are going to like it because I'm Ricochet. Maybe throw some glasses on or sunglasses.
About to get it, man. Here we go. Here we go.
Like, that ain't working.
What do y'all think about making these gimmicky PPV into like how WCW did with the Clashes, because as PPVs they suck? Just an idea. What do y'all think?
Nate from VA, what's up? God damn it didn't fix. These gimmicky pay-per-views. Yeah, I mean, I like sort of like the Bash at the Beach stuff and things like that. I always was drawn to that as a kid, especially being a WWF fan more. So when I heard about like things like Halloween Havoc and stuff like that, I was like, what? This looks awesome. What the hell is this? So I was drawn to that type of stuff. You know, when they did like the Laconia show and like all those different weird shows that they did a show in a mall. I thought those were kind of cool. But to be honest, it's just, I don't know why WWE doesn't do that. But as far as gimmick goes with like Hell in a Cell, I hate that. We don't like that type of gimmick because it's like, okay, every year we must have Hell in a Cell match. That just makes no sense. It should be when a feud is crazy or when something is wild or something, it's like it's going to take place in Hell in a Cell and it's out of nowhere and you're like, whoa, it's going to be Hell in a Cell. You know, instead of being like, oh, we plan every year so we must book matches in Hell in a Cell. That is stupid. It's dumb. And that is just not the way you book wrestling. It's wrong. It's forced bullshit. And then when you get to it, that's why it almost doesn't matter. I mean, it would matter more if the feud called for it. But they can't get the goddamn feuds right. Anyway, Jake.
Did you know that AEW has multiple dark cults? Even Seth said, too, that, you know, the red light gimmick that they had for Hell in a Cell was next to impossible to wrestle in because you couldn't see what the hell was going on. But the cage being red, the light being so dark, and it was obtrusive to them. I can't imagine how Bray felt being in a mask and contacts on top of it. So
yeah,
that's a nightmare scenario. As far as Baszler goes, some people that I was speaking to earlier think that Baszler might lose on the 18th. I don't think they're going to do it on a TV episode of NXT as big as they're building that one. I think they'll wait for the next, you know, takeover that's coming in, I believe, February. But I think Baszler will come close to losing, and then, you know, obviously outside interference will happen. Vince is very, very, very high reportedly on Baszler and Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee might be the one to challenge Adam Cole.
What about Rhea Ripley? Don't you think he's kind of looking at her too? Like, whoa.
I think so, but I think it's still a little too soon for her to come up at this point.
She's very young. The only thing I can think is Triple H is like, Vince, she's fucking 22.
I think he has plans for her going forward. Triple H does. So
yeah.
I see her being the one to dethrone Baszler, just not this soon. I think they're going to keep this going for a while. And honestly, I think Adam Cole will lose to Finn Balor. Matt the Misfit and I were talking about that earlier. I think that's what they're going to build to, and then Ciampa will take the belt from Balor, and then him and Gargano can actually have their final match.
Do you think that's when Cole's Undisputed are going to go up to the main roster?
Yeah, I think that
because don't you wonder if people are going to stay around more because they feel like they need to have NXT kicking ass? So maybe before they would have gotten called up, but now they won't because they're valued down there.
I think they're going to pick and choose just a few. I think they'll do it where they took, 4 at a time. I think they're going to do it that way, where they won't take all of their talent as they did at one time. Where you saw not a mass exodus, but a large amount of people come up, and I think they'll do it a bit slower.
How many did we really see come up this year? Didn't we only see like 2 people show up?
We had 4 originally,
and then only 2 stayed. Alistair,
Otis, and Tucker. We had
Lars,
because Lars made his debut, and I forget. Oh, Nikki Cross was part of that original.
Well, Gargano and Ciampa came up, and then they didn't.
Yep, and then they went back down because Ciampa was injured, and they wanted to finish the story there. And Ricochet and Aleister Black stayed up. So essentially, it was 6 up and 2 back down. But I think they're going to go ahead and do it that way, where they kind of just pluck a few here and there. It's not going to be, really a large exodus in any time. There'll be a few to make the great egress, though. Speaking of NXT really quick as well, Bobby Fish has been on a roll on his Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it at all yet, but he's been packing his trunk full of clothes and food and going around and helping the homeless. It's touching, and he's trying to spread the message to make a difference around the holidays.
Was this because he's injured?
He really is. So this is something he's doing in the meantime, and
wow,
he really is just one of the nicest guys, and you can see him genuine. Like, he's not doing it for publicity's sake. He's trying to start a movement. You can tell what he's going for here. And tweet after tweet, he's just showcasing him, delivering food and clothes and whatnot, trying to help out families. So it's really nice. Go ahead and check out what he's doing, and maybe you can feel really inspired to help people around the holidays.
Yeah. Well, some people will say like, "Oh, if you did, you wouldn't show yourself doing it. You just do it or whatever." But it's like, He doesn't have any links up. He doesn't have, he's not trying to personally gain from it. But he's genuinely trying to. But that's what I mean. Let me finish. Like, you gotta fucking put it on. You gotta video it, because that's how because that's what makes people go, you know what, I should do that.
Exactly.
If you don't tell anybody ever that you're doing it, it's fucking retarded. Like, I think Jeremy Renner or whatever that guy is, not Jeremy, the guy from the Marvel movies, and the guy that was in The Town, and the guy from over here.
Yeah.
He got shit on recently, although I think he did have a motive for it. But still, I'd be like, fuck that. If you do something good, show it off. That way other people might think about doing it. If you don't show it off ever.
He was also pushing his app at the same time, which was directly pushing money into his pocket. People could pay to, like, give them stars on his app to like, upvote their own comments. It was a weird, functioning system, but still. But there are people like, the Pauls who'll be like, oh, we'll feed the homeless. And then there's 20 minutes of them talking about their merchandise and 30 seconds of them being like, oh yeah, and here's a pizza, that kind of thing. So there are enough people out there who like the prank channels, they all kind of tend to do that thing where they utilize people that are homeless to make a statement, and you can care. But with this, it seems very genuine. So I can see why people are so disingenuous, and try and be, they try and get themselves publicized off of it, but it's an easy thing, it is.
Well, speaking of an easy thing, it's an easy thing for you to go over and grab yourself one of the brand new T-shirts, God damn it.
Damn, they're selling like hotcakes.
Turkey Club, but it's slowing down a bit now. You got to get over there and check out the Turkey Club T-shirts, because they are still available. There's a ton of shirts available, as you know, but here's another look for the people that haven't seen it yet at the Turkey Club T-shirt. Plus, there's so much more shit on the site that it's almost unbelievable. So let me go ahead and get here's the screenshot here. There's the Turkey Club sweatshirts, too. Those are a big deal because it's wintertime. So you click on those, takes you over. You get all this shit delivery before Christmas is your last chance. We got mugs, we got iPhone and Android cases, we get the girls' shirts. 85% of the people that bought one I've heard from or seen pictures. There was somebody that told me there was an issue with something on theirs, and I was like, really? With like a printing or something like that. But everybody else's was fine, so I don't know what's up with that, but let me know which one you got.
Yeah, if you contact customer support, they'll ship you a new one out right away, I guess.
Well,
I saw on their Twitter response.
Who told you that? Did they say
their
that?
Twitter customer service had handled that previously with other issues.
When I sent them something?
No, not from you directly, but I saw other people that previously had issues with Teesprings on their Twitter.
Oh. They didn't say shit back to me.
Customer service.
Yeah, no, it's been, I haven't heard from anybody else that there's a problem, but somebody did tell me they had an issue. But everybody else has been sending me pictures, and they look great. So I don't know what happened, but they did say that it wasn't a big deal. It was only like one or two, and they're getting it looked at. So should be fine with them. I've always used them, and I've never had issues. Probably over 500 shirts shipped, and I think only about 6 complaints out of maybe 500 orders. So over the last 4 years. So, They're usually pretty good. But yeah, I love this one. I want to get this one for Leah, the Cronin Club one with the middle fingers.
Hell yeah.
Just a little titties popping out with my middle fingers on there. Put that on Leah. Here, honey, wear this shit and like it. And she will.
She'll love it.
She'll love it, and then I'll make her love it afterwards. So yeah, then there's a whole bunch of other ones. The Monetize This ones, the This Is War, Out of Nowhere.
JCS Army.
Raw-tarded.
Die Roman Die, always a classic.
Yeah. Well, actually, we took that one down because of his cancer thing. But I guess one of the things is on there by accident.
The sticker's up there, I believe.
Yeah, they relaunched it without my fucking goddamn permission, the fuckers. Yeah, because we actually took that down because we were like, It used to be a T-shirt.
Yeah, it used to be, running gag.
Yeah, then when he got cancer, we were like, yeah, that's not cool anymore.
Don't want people to go into the arena wearing that now.
Yeah, let's not sell that anymore. So that's going to come down. But Dilk Wilkerson, Corrupted Nation, and of course, the Slob 75, the number 2 best-selling T-shirt, Slob 75, and a whole bunch of other weird shit available on there right now. And yeah, there should be a shirt with Jake holding a banana that just says "Stay Sexy," with you holding a banana. I think people would buy that, to be honest.
I think they would. I'm out of produce. I got to get more.
Let me play some more
God, I'm
donos.
so fucking horny. Oh my god, I'm so fucking horny. Oh my god, I'm so fucking horny. Happy fucking birthday. Oh my god, so fucking horny. Oh my god, so horny. Oh my god, so horny. Happy birthday. Oh, honey, honey, honey. Donation, time. Gonna put it in my round bum.
A Roshin Chew!
Jake DeMarco not from 411. It's time for Off a Cliff. Big sack and small sack Strowman and Blowman. Got on my TV even you Eva Marie all you fucking spoons grab a warm beer. The man of the hour isn't even Heta Jake DeMarco not from NY 411. It's time for Off A.
Okay. A Roshin Chew.
Time for Off a Cliff.
Yeah, another song written by JB that I yelled at him for. Arushin Chu, thanks, man. Let's see what else comes in. I think you got a couple more coming in, and we'll figure it out.
Down the pipeline.
Down the pipeline.
Oh,
Lana.
a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly?
Lana is donating.
Oh,
again.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Thank you to the previous donation that loved me and my great storyline with Lashley and RRRR Yusuf. I knew I could make it to the top. Spreading my legs, I mean spreading my ass, I mean working hard. Wink wink. Also Lashley may be black but def no BBC. Steroids.
Oh, that's fucked up, Lana. God damn it, Lana, you're veiny. By the way, her boobies, yeah. Like, yes
that
to those.
outfit she wore Monday. Dear God.
Good God. Thank you, Lana, for that donation. All right, now we've caught up on donations. Thank you guys very much for supporting the show with the donations. We don't make any. I don't make any fucking ad revenue anymore, really. So I appreciate you guys giving me that money and helping the show out. And all the patrons, by the way, on Patreon, the new ones, Informal's back at the $5 spot. Dan and Mariel just upped their pledges to the VIP $10 spot, so shout out to them. Eugene is back from 1 to 5, AJD to 2, and big fucking Fuego Jacob went to $55 a month. He's
holy shit.
Big fucking Fuego, and he's a sexy one. Hot fire as fuck, bro. That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Do we have one more? Let me see what else. John Wayne at $5. Always loved him. Anybody else? Let me see. Let me just make sure. A lot of people did re-up. Chizhiiknees.
A lot of people also joined in the chat. You can go ahead and join on the YouTube channel directly to benefit as well. But, do check out the Patreon because you get so much extra bonus content. I know you premiered earlier your podcast with Leah, which was a great listen. So, Till Death Do Us podcast.
You can hear the whole... Well, you can hear the whole thing in audio form on Patreon.
Exactly. So, as much as you like to join here as well, make sure you check out the Patreon. So much up there.
And a big special shout out to Chizhiiknees, who became a $25 producer level patron. So shout out to Chizhiiknees and shout out to all the other producer level people. I believe it's Freddie Mitchell ADTR, Arknolia Strokelbean, Awonddy Big M, Big Fuego Jacob, Bryan, Harper, Chizhiiknees is already there, CJ Bradley, ColdBrewKrew, Drew Bar 100, Duane Crenshaw, Frog Kid, Gary Metzler, Gerald Armstrong, Jason Tarr. Jason Tarr is back, baby. John ConstipatedRock, John Zippay, Joseph Lightsey, Justin McNeil, Kalel Bama, long time sexy, and a real long time Star Scream, Mikey Too Crikey, NickY J, Shell, Sith Negan, SoCom Kastle, Talk to Me Nice, The Bear 1322, Triple M, and Z the Reaper. Thank you to them. Anything else news-wise?
I got to do it once because Hector Gutierrez, in the chat said he misses it. So, with the Ramstein logo,
Hector.
he's also a member. So,
but Hector Gutierrez.
it is Luke Rojas's birthday. So, happy birthday, you smelly little bastard!
Happy birthday, you fuck! Even though you shit on the audience the other night when my daughter was bleeding, and I had to run away for 20 minutes. Hey, can you cover the thing? And Rojas just goes, all right. Yeah, so basically, you're all a bunch of cocksucking asshole idiots. God damn it on the 15th.
Tore apart everybody. I went back and heard that and died laughing. I'm like, damn it.
Now,
I don't know if he's here now, but I did wish him a happy birthday before on Twitter.
Well, what else is he doing?
I don't know.
What the fuck else could he be doing?
Probably just masturbating. So.
Ugh.
He was trying to retweet porn stars last I saw. So.
I say that, but you're creepy.
Hey, I'm just going by his timeline.
Ugh.
Yeah. He's trying to slide in those DMs.
Jake
Speaking of someone losing their mind and selling Epstein didn't kill himself t-shirts, EC3 apparently is dealing with one hell of a concussion. It's being reported that it's a very rough time for him as he's not up to par with the most recent injury. I didn't know that he was suffering with injury, but now it makes sense as to why we haven't seen him even on Main Event or anything. So it's been a while since we've seen him.
We thought definitely they weren't using him. Although I do remember them saying maybe he got injured somewhere, but I thought it was like an elbow or something.
Yeah, I thought it was a simple, but apparently Fightful Select says he's been battling a concussion. He's starting to come out of it a little bit, but this one was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go with that because he talks to Sean Ross a lot, so that's true.
Yeah,
wow.
He was talking to them directly, and he first said, I'm 100% healthy, and I will never die, which was more of like a joke comment.
Right.
And then he went right into recently doing these odd vignettes where he was going off about Epstein didn't kill himself.
Right.
It almost seemed like he was going to retire at first.
It almost seems like he's fucking with people with the brain injury joke or something.
Yeah, it is bizarre, but
which is not something I would think you'd want to do in WWE.
No, not at all. But hey, he's trying to make a little bit of pocket change for himself. So
can I just tell you something real quick?
What's that?
Did you know that Joey Janela is now not known as Back Down Janela, but he's known as the Main Event now? Did you know that?
Main Event Janela. I saw on Twitter. Because he saw your sign and commented himself directly to it. Not even tagged.
No.
He responded.
Well, I think it's because he follows me, so I think he must have been looking at my timeline.
Maybe, but still, I mean, before you even retweeted it, he had replied. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. But Brandon Colby said he put out the picture of Joey Janela on the top and hire Joe Cronin, it says on the sign. Which did
what a way to capture that too, of all people to be there in that shot.
There's Janela's ass. There's Joey Janela's asshole, and then there's Brandon Colby, a longtime listener, holding up a hire Joe Cronin show sign on AEW TV, and then if you scroll down, of course, Joey Janela saw it, and Joey Janela writes, "Back down, Janela."
I died when I saw that this morning. I'm like,
you gotta love Joey, man. You gotta love him. He totally gets the whole fucking thing now.
I'm glad gets it. I'm glad he realized that it was, for fun.
For no reason, this fucker just wrote "Back Down, Janela," and it's his ass, man. He's backing on up.
It cracked me the fuck up this morning. I saw that. It was like, holy shit.
That's hilarious from Janela, man. That is really funny shit. So then that prompted me, and thank you to Joey Janela. I mean, he does follow me, so he might have seen it that way, but I don't think so. I think he just saw the fucking thing. But
I think you just saw it because you didn't even retweet it yet.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like you had mentioned it for it to be in your timeline.
I then told everybody, that's it. Now that Joey Janela's done that, he's no longer Back Down Janela. He is the Main Event Janela.
After having a great match with Moxley.
Well, check this out, everybody.
Main Event Janela. That's right. Main Event Janela. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go do something.
It had to happen. And now you talk about unprotected chair shots right here.
Damn.
So I lost my mind this morning, and I declared right there that he is no longer back down Janela, but he
I'm
is.
old as shit now.
He is the main event Janela. So congratulations. Congratulations to Joey on ascending out of that situation. And much appreciation to him. Oh, also on my Twitter timeline, because my Twitter timeline is full of lots of fun at Corrupted Pod on Twitter, I put a link up on Patreon for a podcast that I did on YouTube in 2007. A video that still exists on YouTube from 2007 where I did a podcast where it was pretty fucking dark, to be honest. You should go listen to it. It's very weird. So that's around. Also, Tommy apparently jizzed all over his face.
Yeah, that's a hell of a bukkake party. I'm telling you, that's
what is happening there. So Twitter has just been full of all kinds of lovely stuff today. But anyway, give me 1 second, Jay, because apparently the dog won't come in, and Leah's yelling at me about it. So it's whatever you want to talk about for the next.
I got a little bit of news to cover, so it works out.
All right, I'll be right there.
We originally heard that after Jimmy Uso had his DUI, incident back before SummerSlam, that they weren't going to be in trouble with the company. We later saw in October the video of Jimmy Uso being placed under arrest, and now reportedly WWE has, we heard in October they had no plans for their return. Especially because we thought they might be back for Fox's debut of SmackDown. They weren't used. They were backstage. Now come to find out that they weren't allowed into Canada because of the issue with the DUI. So that was when they were heading towards WWE's most recent Toronto event. So now there is no update at all being given as to when we will see the Usos on TV once again. Total radio silence on the entire subject. I mean, you figure they haven't been seen, like I said, since before SummerSlam. That's quite a bit of time, especially knowing that they're not injured. So with that being said, it certainly seems like now they are being punished. As for WWE, originally their statement was what the talent does on their own time is up to them. Now it seems like, they're in suspension. So they're being treated as being given detention. They certainly have an issue with that. It makes sense, though, because with all the overseas travel that they do and leaving the country quite often, they just were in Mexico and all these different things. Having the DUI and not being able to leave the country is a big deal. So maybe they're just waiting for this to clear, or maybe they are in hot water with the company. But either way, we have no timeline on when we'll see either of them return. And speaking of substances, Enzo Amore, obviously was talking to Talk is Jericho with Chris Jericho and Cass. And he went ahead and he said, I'm a huge pothead, and I'm open about it now. Now that I'm out of the company, I can talk about it. For 6 years with the company, I was never in a picture with a beer in my hand. Never. I couldn't smoke pot with the WWE for 5 years. They fine you for it. We know this as well. So they actually call it a pot tax between the backstage stars. He said, they fine you $2,500. I was broke. I was making $600 a week for WWE, and that was for over a year. I was taking out credit cards just to pay my bills. So when I finally looked at my bank account, probably like 6 months into the main roster, I was like, you know what? I could take a fine right now. And I lit up a blunt again for the first time. To me, that is my medicine. He said, I don't know if anyone has ever smoked a joint and then beat his wife, but a guy gets hammered drunk and something happens. And how true is that? Alcohol is legal. Marijuana, for the most part in the United States, is not. I mean, it's becoming more legal and tolerated, but still, alcohol leads to much more terrible incidents. He said, so it helped me. I'd rub the CBD cream all over my body when I was with WWE, and that got me fined for $2,500. And a lot of things that people don't know is that probably half the locker room smokes pot. And why do we do that? Because you can't do pills, you can't do drugs. If you drink, you might end up like Cass. What a dig that was. And he started to imitate Big Cass after that. But He said, I didn't want any of that stuff to happen to me. And that certainly is a thing. Superstars are drinking less and less because obviously it not only hurts your figure, but your ability in ring. We saw a lot of people heavy drinking in the Attitude Era and then have to, compete with horrible hangovers. You hear all those road stories and how it really affected them and shortened their career. Now people are, becoming more healthy. Even Austin said it on the Broken Skull podcast there with The Undertaker. Had we known about these type of, health remedies and vegan lifestyle and things like that, would we honestly be able to have had a few extra years? Maybe. Austin kind of seems convinced that he'd taken better care of himself then, that he might have been able to get another year or two out of his career. So, but Enzo, said that half the locker room is, smoking on a regular basis, which I can believe, which shouldn't be a finable offense. Samoa Joe, his next medical evaluation date is apparently the 30th of this month. So this is coming from Loose Lips Backstage, as I brought up. This is that Reddit user, Loose Lips Backstage, had told us this past Monday what the plan was going to be. Told us not to watch Raw, that it was going to be a terrible show, which it was, Ugh. And he also stated ahead of time about the Lana and Rusev angle, and that Lana and Bobby Lashley would be getting arrested. So a lot of what he's brought up.
Hey, who was this
on
again?
Reddit,
who was the guy?
Loose Lips Backstage.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's been, spot on for everything that he's reported on Reddit so far. And he said that Samoa Joe's next medical evaluation date is December 30th. So does not mean he'll return to in-ring action that date, but he is getting evaluated then. And until then, he's supposedly going to be used on commentary, which is a good choice. He is good on commentary.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, I usually enjoy him on there. Tomorrow night for SmackDown, first match announces that Roman Reigns will be taking on Dolph Ziggler. They kind of have Dolph Ziggler in the role as like Baron Corbin's security. He's kind of like Corbin's minion at this point. So it's a bit of an odd angle, but supposedly what we're supposed to see, which is being advertised on television, is that we're going to get Roman Reigns to take on Baron Corbin in a TLC match at the pay-per-view. So, and keeping up with the substance theme that I've been explaining, Jeff Hardy was apparently spoken to by the WWE themselves. They strongly implored Jeff to address his health issues. This is coming from PW Insider Elite. They said Jeff Hardy's deal is frozen, so we knew that was going to happen to him. They don't want to fire him, and now they can hold him even longer. And he's in the middle of another legal issue at this point, and they told Jeff to address his health and get himself, fixed up, become sober again. And they said you can't fire the guy when he's doing what you ask him to do. So they have to see what happens when he goes to court. He was scheduled to go to court December 5th, so yesterday during the day, and I have not seen any update yet with how that made out. I've been looking to see if we had anything reported yet, but he did go to court yesterday for his arrest with the DUI.
I guarantee he would get a singles push if he was here and Matt was injured.
Yeah,
but
he
Jeff Hardy. But Matt Hardy's injured, or Matt Hardy's been out, or Jeff Hardy's been out, and Matt Hardy just sits at home. But you know what? I think Matt's ready to leave anyway. So when Matt leaves,
and Matt's going to get to leave long before Jeff. 7
months, I think, right? Is it 7 months? Or
yeah,
because
he's been injured since Mania time by Lars. Was the one that took him out supposedly,
or however long this shit takes for him to get figured out.
And we still have no timetable of return for Lars Sullivan yet either. So.
Lars Sullivan, and I'm going to crush somebody.
To be by the end of the year. That didn't happen.
I'll be in the message boards talking about blacks. I'm Lars Sullivan. I'm the freak, and I'm not afraid to be the freak, Lars Sullivan. I stole Jesse Ventura's sound. I'm the fucking freak, Lars Sullivan.
I think that's what he sounds like. Let me see. Promo.
Pretty much.
Let me tell you, Jessica, why I'm going to crush her.
Ask a nightingale?
Did you ever ask a nightingale
why they sing their
sweet song?
Would you ever ask a lion why they methodically stalk their prey.
Would you ever ask a lion while they masturbate slowly in the moonlight? I don't think you would ask those questions, and I don't think that Lars Sullivan has to ask them either.
Before sinking their teeth into flesh and viciously ripping it apart?
Because I will viciously rip somebody apart.
Then why would you ever ask what drives a man like me?
To kill people in the audience and to talk about blacks on a message board 17 years ago. I don't even remember what I was fucking doing 17 years ago. In fact, you're brown yourself.
No, I don't know. It's fucking. That's all the guy heard. He's probably lucky he got injured. He needed another reset.
I'm not too happy standing in the ring with this colored.
What did he write on the mess? I don't even remember. We got to look those up again. Like people still to this day are like, he's employed. He's a racist. I don't know.
Forget. He was. It was some pretty outlandish stuff though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was probably in character. I mean,
yeah,
dude,
really.
When I was a kid, when I was like a 12-year-old or whatever, and I was online, I mean, dude, the stuff I would write randomly just to piss people off for no reason. Like, if you'd pulled the things that... Well, he wasn't 12, though. What was he, 20? You know, even...
yeah, had to be around there, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm injured.
All that build-up for Lars Sullivan, man. Out the window he went. We also forgot that he had the anxiety attack and left.
Yeah.
He had the anxiety attack. He freaked out. He went home. He's a more Ronaldo type of situation. Where he was like, I'm out of here. I got to
show up and disappeared.
I got to get out of
here. We thought he
here.
would never show up again. So
they found out. People are calling me a racist on Twitter. Fuck this. I'm going home. I didn't do it.
Adam Cole posted a picture of him mocking Britt Baker with the hashtag Britt Baker challenge. So he has his hands over his face looking concerned. So at least he's, trying to start it as a trend and make it pretty lighthearted.
Yeah.
I at least, I find some humor in that.
That's kind of funny.
You can call me the mulatto mayonnaise. You can call me the creamsicle Whitey. Whitey's bulger in my pants.
According to Meltzer, his final card for TLC is going to feature Rusev and Bobby Lashley, which I don't think anyone gives a damn about. No. Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, which has a stipulation yet to be announced. Charlotte and Becky versus Asuka and Kairi for the women's tag title TLC. And we'll see Randy Orton and AJ Styles, which I have no interest in. We already had them feud for months on end to build into Mania. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins could be good. Braun Strowman is supposedly going to take on Nakamura for an IC title fight. So that's interesting to hear that would be the case. I mean, that's really random, no?
Wait, say that one again?
Braun Strowman taking on Nakamura for the IC title.
That is random, but you know what? That will piss me off if Braun won that because Braun's a worthless piece of shit.
He would win it. He would take it from Nakamura at that point. Watch.
Right? That's bullshit. This big fucking retard who doesn't even know when to cash in his money in the bank is going to beat Nakamura for the IC belt? Like, fuck you. Get rid of this fucking big idiot who can't win shit. Who's stupid every second of the day, but then he can beat Nakamura for the IC belt. Get the fuck out of here. This guy couldn't fucking count to 5 if his fucking mother's vagina depended on it.
Pretty much. At least that seems that way. And last thing I have here is that Mike Kanellis, his big issues with Maria Kanellis' WWE pregnancy angle wasn't the angle itself. Because he went on to say, what's the difference if Mike Bennett plays a serial killer on Law & Order? It's fake. I know it's, that didn't bother me with people saying, her cucking me out and all that. His issue was that there was no payoff to it. He said, what was the point? I don't mind thinking outside the box. I don't mind embarrassing myself. I wrestle in underwear for a living. I don't care. If they say I have to be emasculated by my wife, I'm fine. I don't care. I get offended when it doesn't go anywhere. How can you blame them for that? hell of a statement there. That's for sure.
because
I agree with him entirely.
It comes down to this is classic Vince McMahon stuff where it's like he just does stuff to amuse himself. Like randomly like, hey, you know it'd be funny if AOPP and somebody pee-peed their potty in the pants. But there's no real reason for it to happen other than it's just goofy. So it was funny to Vince to see the guy have to keep going out there and be like, his wife just shit on him and stuff like that and him act like a bitch. That's what it was. Vince just liked the repetitive joke. Do it again. Ha ha. Let's do it again. Ha ha. That's all it was. That wasn't supposed to be a payoff to it. I mean, Speaking of Mike Kanellis,
it's a shitty situation to get, laid out like that repeatedly and nothing comes of it.
Yeah. Mike actually came back to Fall River the other day and was training at the school for a second. And
that's cool.
The very ring that I wrestled the bear and maced the bear in, he sat in the very spot you'd recognize the ring. But yeah, he came back. It was pretty cool. But he's enjoying his time off apparently, and he's probably going to be doing nothing for a while. So let me go back to the donations real quick.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
Rob.
Bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Robert Eller.
Joe, how would you read debut Lars Sullivan now that he has been gone for months?
I don't know. I guess you just have him debut in a big spot and attack somebody. But now they probably don't trust him. They probably really have trust problems with him. I'm assuming that Vince McMahon loves the shit out of him. I'm assuming Vince loves the guy almost, but he hates him at the same time. Because all this bullshit on social media. So now Vince McMahon has to be careful and has to get yelled at about all these things that he did, and we got to be careful, and he said this and that online. So Vince is probably like, God damn it, this is annoying. And then on top of that, the guy freaks out and runs away and goes home. Who the fuck freaks out and runs away and go home? Vince hates that type of thing. So Vince can't be happy with that. And then they finally get back to pushing him for the third or fourth attempt they try to push the guy. And he gets injured after he comes out and buries people. So do you have the guy come back out again and start burying jobbers and attacking small people and being like they did the last time and restart it? It's probably going to be a restart or a rushed restart of what he used to do.
If they even decide to do that.
If they do that. Or what you do is you have him show up kind of like the Big Show Paul White. When the Big Show showed up in WWE. There's a big match going on. There's something going on. And all of a sudden, Lars Sullivan goddamn shows up, rips a cage off, comes from under the ring, whatever the fuck. Or is somebody's bodyguard all of a sudden, whatever. And he attacks somebody. And the next thing you know, he's in the main event. If Seth Rollins was still a face, which he's going to be going heel probably, so that he's somebody that could have came and helped Seth. For no reason, Lars shows up and destroys Seth. They could have worked a good program. Instead of Bray Wyatt, Lars Sullivan would have been good in that spot the first time. And then eventually he could get to Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt could win the title. But, Lars would have been a good thing for Seth to try to have to overcome. But, yeah, so I think he's going to debut like that. He's going to return like that in a big spot. But the only reason why I could see that not happening is because, again, the trust with him at this point is really bad. It really goes against your judgment to give this guy a major storyline. He's run away twice. He's had controversial comments come up, and you'd had to sideline him and apologize and fine him. Fine him or whatever they really did. Who knows? WWE has the luxury of being a company that puts on this charade so they can sort of say they fine somebody, and you don't know whether that's a real fine or a fake fine. You don't really know what's going on. And because that's the luxury they have of the work or shoot. But either way, they came out and said it, so what are you going to do? So, yeah, he's got all these things working against him where how the hell do you trust this guy? So I think
exactly.
I'd say, listen, he got one more chance.
If that.
Yeah, if he has that. I mean, there's a lot of people still mad at this guy. I think he just said stupid shit back in the day on boards. I hope. And it seems like that's what it is. And I'm just going by the few African-American wrestlers that I talked to that knew him in NXT. I'm just going by all the people in NXT who never had a problem with him, never saw anything weird, never had a problem. So that's what I understand. But yeah, I don't know, man. Some other people think some other people think he's just a racist. Like, they just think he is a racist. I'm somebody who always gives people the benefit of the doubt no matter what they are doing. You know what I mean? Like even if somebody has said shit about me or about anybody, whoever, white, black, fucking Hispanic, whatever, I enjoy some fucking crazy jokes. So I don't know, man. But if you could show me that he was actually, like, to this day, like, said fucked up shit.
I mean, he said a lot of fucked up shit on the message board.
I guess I need to read those, maybe read those fucking messages. I don't know what I'm talking about 100%. Do you remember some of the things he said?
I don't want to misquote it.
Some people are still saying that, though, some people are mad at him, you know, so maybe he said some stuff that I'm not aware of. I'd like to hear it. I'm not going to judge somebody, though, for like racist jokes and stuff, because you want to talk about jokes and racist jokes. I'm fucking your goddamn leader.
He was talking about Vince hiring all these ex-criminals when he was talking about MVP.
What about JTG? I mean, he is an ex-criminal. MVP is an ex-criminal.
I'm trying to find the actual, because it's all.
But nobody was as bad as the former ex-criminal, Nails. Remember, Nails took on the big boss man, and he was a white guy criminal.
He said illegal Mexican immigrants just want to come to America to get free stuff. African Americans only want pity for what their ancestors went through. He said that he got with Ronda Rousey. He went off on CM Punk. Called ROH wrestlers vanilla midgets.
Stop there. So, first of all, he said he got with Ronda Rousey. So that's not true. So he's joking around.
It might have been because they were at the same gym training. I don't remember the specific details, but like they were training at the same point. There was something about them being in the same gym and
what?
Yeah, there was some validity to it. Like his claims, it was never proven, but
all right. Well, he said he got with Ronda Rousey. That's weird to say that. So that's probably some kind of weird.
He said there's a huge gray area when it comes to rape and consent. And he went on this whole, like, not pro-rape sentiment, but that was his point. Talked about Bobby Lashley being a steroid abuser. It says, this is just a list that I found, made tons of racist and homophobic comments, derogatory comments specifically towards Stephanie McMahon, called ROH wrestlers vanilla midgets.
Okay,
called
so
Jeff
like
Hardy a junkie with no wrestling ability.
So to me, this is less concerning from me. And here's why. If he was just going on these message boards and writing stuff like, you know, blacks in wrestling this, blacks in general this, black people this, I would be very concerned about that. Maybe.
There was some of it like that.
But it sounds like he's attacking kind of everybody.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like.
It sounded like he's making ignorant statements, ignorant and reckless joke statements about everybody. Am I not? Does it seem like a joke? I mean, making fun of Stephanie. Like,
I think he was pissed then. Something about a trial, and I really don't want to. Like I said, I hate to misrepresent anyone.
Vanilla midgets in Ring of Honor. He's going after them. I mean, does that mean the white people? I mean,
part of this is like, you know, part of the attack on him was a bit of virtue signaling. It was because
this was nowhere near what Hogan even did. Like, to me,
no, but it wasn't a good look for the company, no matter what. So
yeah, it sounds like he went on social media, said a bunch of goofy shit that could be real or not real, Because like,
but again, he even apologized. He was young.
Yeah, how old was he?
This was from 2007 to 2013.
Yeah, is he a vanilla giant? If they're vanilla midgets, is he a vanilla giant?
So he's 31 now.
So he was like 23? Or what year? I missed that.
So he was 19, I think, if my math
was
is correct.
19.
If it was 2007, 12 years ago, what did I say, 2007 to 2013?
When I was younger, I used to...
So he was 19 to, all the way to 24.
When I was younger, I made jokes that we were
25.
We were the priests. We were the priests of little boys. Like, I used to make a joke. Me and my buddies all made a group on Xbox. Like the altar boys. And like it was all about like fucking rape, like in priests and all this shit. Where if you looked at that, you would think that I was like fucked up or something. But it was like we were making fun of like Catholic priests because we didn't like what happened. So we were like... I mean,
he outright said there's no excuse for the inappropriate remarks that I made years ago.
Right.
They don't reflect my personal beliefs nor who I am today. I apologize to anyone I offended. And I don't want to sound like I'm defending him either because I'm not. But the internet was a different time then, too. People were more...
everybody was going after everybody for all kinds of shit.
And people were really, like, intentionally edgy.
Yeah. Oh, no, you mean back at that time? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
people would say...
2007 was a different time.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, you would be like, dude, like if a young white kid is like writing crazy weird racial stuff, most of the time he doesn't even fucking mean it. He's just writing shit to trigger people. And I've seen like a young black kid. If a young black kid was writing stuff like take like every white person's a KKK and I'm gonna eat their faces or something like that, and he wrote that somewhere and he was like ha ha ha, and he was a little black kid and he was like, hey, I'm gonna eat white people's faces. And he wrote that somewhere, and he's like, I'm going to make white people slaves. And then he had a picture or whatever. And then, like, 10 years later, he was in college somewhere, and somebody pulled that up and was like, oh, you wanted to make white people slaves and all these other things. Like, I'd be like, well, who is he now? Because to me, that sounds like a little kid who's just fucking around. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's just a joke. Like, you're like, white people are the slaves. That's funny. And he makes, like, a cartoon of white people being whipped and chained. And he's like, and he created this fake little character called whatever. And he had a picture of himself with, like, beating people. Like, if you went up to him and he'd be like, it was just a joke, man. Like, I was just drawing this thing, like, and I was joking around. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I get it. Kids fucking joke around about crazy shit.
But some of it wasn't worded as a joke. He said,
black people don't do that. Probably not. You're right.
The party is the epitome of racist clowns.
That's definitely a white guy
want to take
thing.
Advantage of their grandparents' misfortunes. They want a piece of the pity pie. Instead of taking some personal responsibility, they choose to attack the white man and say we must take care of them financially. When immigrants, particularly the illegal persuasion coming from our neighbors down south, hear that we are the land of the free, to them that means they just want to get free stuff. This is a clear political divide among the races. The Democrats essentially bribing minorities for votes in the root cause of the problem, plus so many other reasons. So I mean, like, it just keeps going from
that's
there.
Not a racist.
So that's more opinion
that's
than
an opinion,
it is
yeah.
labeled as a joke.
It's a
He's
very
not saying things to trigger people. That's what he believed at that point.
But that's just a conservative stance. Like, I don't think that's racist. He hasn't.
No, I'm just saying
he's looking at. I don't.
Opinion,
I don't.
joke.
I mean, he's kind of right, but he's kind of wrong. It's sort of an ignorant political stance that he wrote down that I think about half the country probably agree with.
Why do 50% of black women have STDs? Because they're sluts.
Ooh,
on the flip side, I will ask
Jesus.
what Kofi and R-Truth are supposed to be. A PG Black Panther stable. I always wondered.
Whoa!
Wait a
minute! Wait a second! Wait a minute! Stop! Wait a second! You told me this is when he was 19.
Between 19 to 25.
Because Kofi and them weren't a stable like more than 5 years ago.
It started from 2007 to 2013 or 2011.
What?
Yeah. That's what I said. It started when he was 19, went till he was 25.
Oh, wait. So he's been saying stuff even when the New Day was around.
Yes.
Tell me the rest of it.
He said, on the flip, he said, 50% of black women have STDs. They're all sluts. On the flip side, I will ask, what are Kofi and R-Truth supposed to be? A PG Black Panther stable? And that's when he goes on about the Black Panthers being, where is it? I gotta scroll. It's weirdly listed here. The epitome of racist clowns. And then he said, I always wondered why they had to team up two black guys. Both those guys look like they could be in a prison black gang getting raped. Some black guys want to take advantage of their grandparents. I read that shit. So then he said, he goes on to list the gray areas of rape. Let me pull this one up. It's you have to like scroll up and down. So and then a lot of the forums were taken down.
Sounds like it's getting
so I'm
worse.
trying to find screenshots.
Sounds like it's getting worse as he gets older.
It did get worse as he got older.
Oh.
From what I'm reading here. So he made fun of gay and non-white people. He basically just didn't make fun of white people. That was pretty much it. Latino, white.
Now you know why I do it so much.
Black. He said he would make someone feel worthless if they talked about their gay sex in the same thread from the previous post. Rock was only good because he rode Austin's coattails. You know, he's got opinions like that, but then he also fills it in between with tons of racist rants. So, and then he's attacking Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, The Rock. You know, and so there's a lot of that too. Del Rio only got pushed because he was Mexican. He wasn't talented. He wasn't. You know, the NAACP are all clowns. Have to go. Scott Hall is going to OD. More racial comments about handouts.
I don't know why that got me funny.
He would never want to tour in the Middle East because they worship terrorists. He doesn't want people from the Middle Eastern countries in the United States because he doesn't want to die. Says media is too easy on you people, referring to Middle Easterners. He talks about Meltzer's love for that Chinese wrestling. That's how he refers to New Japan, that Chinese wrestling.
Just shitting on everybody. What a fucking
the smell
crazy
of gay
shit.
women.
The
Muslims should be demonized for their religion. This goes on.
The smell of gay women? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, he liked that Stone Cold beat Deborah.
Wait, can you get me the smell of gay women thing so I can say it in his voice? One of the things.
The forum's down, so it just goes through topic listings here. So I don't have the exact quote.
Oh my
I have
God.
it like in pieces. AJ Lee looks like a 16-year-old Gilbert Gottfried in drag. That's kind of funny.
Oh my God! I look like Gilbert Godfrey! Oh my God, dude, are you kidding me, bro?
He laughed at Canyon committing suicide.
More things from Lars Sullivan's journal.
Yeah, he joked about Stone Cold beating Deborah. It made him laugh.
I remember I wrestled down at EWF, and the smell of gay women rotted my core. I was unable to finish the match with my finishing wrestling maneuver because the smell of that carpet-munching cunt made me uneasy, and I wanted to off myself in the ring. I wish there was less black people in wrestling, because then there'd be less rape in the locker room. More from Lars Sullivan's personal journal. I'd only wish that before Chris Benoit had killed himself and his family, that he'd taken out that no-good Booker T. I always hated him. The smell of a jungle followed him wherever he'd go. Why are there so many damn Asians now in wrestling in America? This is America. Damn it. I went down to Mexico last year to wrestle some flying burrito. Now I know why everyone's trying to get into America, because it smells like a damn sewage plant down there in Mexico. I prefer to be up here with the Amish, who are mostly white. So tune in next time for more Lars Sullivan journal entries. All right, I'm sorry.
I mean, he says Vince McMahon's a cokehead. The last dump he took is more important to him than all of Israel.
Oh my God! Oh my! The last dump I took was more important to me than all of Israel.
The McMahons don't care about Mexicans politically or publicly. They just exploit any race to make money. Someone had edited, which is funny, him saying all this stuff, and then they cue to him powerbombing R-Truth.
Yeah, didn't he attack? He attacked R-Truth and somebody like Rey Mysterio or somebody, right?
Yeah.
The first people he attacked was a black guy and a Mexican, right? Or Latino. Yep. We were saying that.
And that was after saying shit about them.
We said that at the time. We're like, it's a fucking, this has to be a joke. We said that.
Like, you can see that it's archived here. I wish I could show it to you, but it's
my God.
He's like, oh, both those guys look like they could be in a prison black gang, and then you cue to him power bombing them. So it's like, oh
wow,
no.
Wow. I mean, I don't know. I see. I honestly, and listen, I know I'm white, and there's probably people out there that are angry at him, and I certainly don't like I don't like real racism, like really racist people, and really actual racist people and shit like that. I certainly don't like that, and I don't like anti-gay people that are really anti-gay and stuff like that. Not this bullshit, soft ass shit. But I can't tell if he's hilarious or he is a dickhead. I can't tell, or if he's a dickhead, hilarious, or a racist. I can't tell. He certainly sounds like he's made some ignorant statements, but I can't tell from this. If he's you guys make up your minds and tell me maybe. I'd love to hear from you about it. Let's go to the donations.
Do a little basketball dance.
God damn it, it's me, Alex Jones.
I mean, I'm just so sick of you little meth head devil worshippers. I'll be honest, I'd like to take a big bite out of your face.
I'm a minority. Why isn't this reading? Now this ain't reading. No, what the fuck is going on? Now they're not reading? What the fuck is happening? Man, Streamlabs is fucked up. I will have a green sign at TLC. Oh, Rev24X, thank you. JCS Army on one side and Rollins Fears Cronin on the other. Make me famous. Hell yeah! T-Rev, if that gets on the TLC pay-per-view, I will whack off all over Jake DeMarco. We will just go...
yeah.
We will go to town on each other. Real racists have no sense of humor, says musicians in the chat. That's true. Hector Gutierrez says, I think it's funny, but I'm fucked up.
Where am I living? Where am I living? Right now.
Did you know there are 4 gothic factions in AU now? Does Raw suck an elephant's cock? Will the turkeys eat? Oh shit, look out, they are.
Yo, Jason Tarr, thank you, Jason Tarr, for the 1050 and scaring the shit out of me. And you're a beast, man. Jason Tarr, also thank you for joining Patreon. $25 producer level a month. Jason Tarr, he's been a patron and a producer level guy for a while, but he's back again. So big shout out, man, to Jason Tarr. Thank you, my friend, and everybody else. Yeah, let's make it fresh again. Yeah. Kevin, Scampoli, dude, I'm gonna bring it up again. I'm gonna get the guy in trouble again, right before he comes back.
Super chat. Does Lars think Shane McMahon will take over WWE?
It's another different. It's like it reads different fucking voices every time.
Every time.
Yeah, the whole fucking show, Kevin. Yeah, I think so.
Super chat.
Shane will take over.
Lars is my new hero, LMFAO.
Drew Bar 100, racist confirmed. No, I'm just kidding. Drew Bar 100, thank you for the super chat, Drew Bar. What's up, bro? Okay, we're caught up on the donations now. I guess we got to get out to do the closing here, I suppose. So what else, anything pop up or be on your mind, Mr. DeMarco? By the way, if you're new to the channel, subscribe down below. 40% of the listeners are minorities, so we can't be racist. but Lars can, and I'm coming back soon.
As surprised as I was by the ratings, I am still really curious to see what happens on the 18th, with both shows building such monumental events. weeks in advance. You know, they're giving 2 weeks to really sell those shows. That's going to be when the ratings really, really matter, because they're going to be advertising the NXT matches, I guess, on the main shows. So
right.
We'll see if that helps and gets them more of an influx of viewers, because it was only a 6,000 difference this week.
Wait till they bring in fucking Brock for NXT.
Yeah. And just go in F5 everyone every match.
Imagine that, or just anybody bring in. I know they brought in Seth, but I mean, imagine announcing somebody being like, "I've had enough, and I'm coming down there. I'm gonna take the NXT title." Like Roman Reigns being like, "I'm gonna take the NXT title," and then Roman goes and has a match with Adam Cole. Think about it.
Yeah,
Roman.
It could happen.
Roman has good matches with little guys like AJ and shit like that. So Roman versus Cole could be good.
I'm surprised he wasn't down there already.
And if he did that, imagine the rating. And by the way, WWE should be doing that, because Roman is the type of guy whose fan base isn't watching NXT. There's a million.
Yeah, that's
seriously
a great point, actually, because they don't have the young viewers. So that would be. That's a good point.
Roman comes out.
About that.
I heard a lot of people on NXT were talking trash about the big dog, and they don't get the courage to step into the big dog's yard. So the big dog's going to have to go to NXT and whoop somebody's ass. So this Wednesday night, I'm gonna invade NXT, y'all, because that's how he talk like that, like an idiot. I'm gonna invade NXT, y'all, and then and he drops the mic and they're like, Roman Reigns is going to show up on NXT on Wednesday. What the hell? And then if he did that, they would get from anywhere from 200,000 or so people that don't ever almost watch this show. They would be like, I thought that was stupid. I watched it and I didn't know anybody and they look stupid, but I'm going to watch that. So then they would totally go watch fucking NXT, and they would gain anywhere from probably 50K to 300K viewers from the WWE product itself that don't normally watch. It's a fucking genius idea. Why haven't they done it? Not that I care about it really, but I'm just saying, it's something that they should just, that's a no-brainer layup.
Oh,
a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it. Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
So Wade Barrett is a commentator now?
Wade Barrett, it's me, Stu Bennett. It's me, Stu Bennett. Now I'm a commentator. I'm a commentator for NWA. Oh, hello everyone. I'm Stu Bennett. My acting career didn't go so well, but I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. I'm the It's like, come on, man. I'm not watching NWA anymore. Fuck that. Stu Bennett's a good guy, though. Stu Bennett's a good guy. Rob, thank you, Rob Heller. Good guy, Stu Bennett. J Tarr, what up? Thank you very much for subscribing, J Tarr. That is how many months is that for you? 13 months in a row, baby. Jason Tarr, much appreciated, brother. Jake, anything you want to say before we get the fuck out of here?
No, that's it. We'll see what happens tomorrow night in the build for shitty TLC, which I don't think anybody cares about.
No.
Sadly.
And then nobody's going to care about anything else. No one's going to care about anything until Royal Rumble now.
Yeah, Vince supposedly, it's being reported that he wants to wait on announcing matches because it shows better for subscriber numbers to announce it right before the pay-per-view.
Oh.
Supposedly, it's better to announce something way out to sell tickets, but as far as getting network subscriptions, if they announce it the day before, it gets more subscribers.
You know what sells the fucking network? Being like, I want to see what happens next. I want to see a fucking guy show up in the background out of nowhere and poke someone in the eye with a fucking metal stick. And the guy goes, and his fucking eyes bleeding down his face. And then he's got a patch on the next week and he doesn't have the vision, whatever the fuck. And then he wants to have a match anyway with somebody. And so then the other guy's got to wear a patch over his eye, or whatever the fuck. Like Rick Martel, Jake Roberts with the blindfold match. Except you don't do a blindfold match. And you have they both have to wear patches over their eye and it impedes their vision. And then they get into these squabbles over the next couple of weeks, and someone slams a car door on someone's leg, and someone chases someone in a car, like whatever the fuck. Like people are in the ring, somebody gets bloody somehow. Like, stuff happens like that. You're like, wow, I want to see what's going to happen. Instead, it's the same promo for 3 weeks or 4 weeks building up to a show. That's why no one subscribes. Because they go, okay.
Yeah, what's the reason to tune in? What do we have to see here?
I don't care about buying this. I don't care about being subbed to the network for this.
Imagine if the network was around, in the Attitude Era, if it was feasible to use it, if
Right.
the internet was...
Because imagine, in the Attitude Era, things were so hot. Not even the Attitude Era. Just go back to WrestleMania 12 or 8 or 5 or whatever the fuck. Even at those times, I gotta see what happens. Let's say WrestleMania 12, right? Please, Mom, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels in this fucking Iron Man match. I want to see what happens in this weird Iron Man match. I've never, whatever. Please, can I order it? No. And like 20% of their audience, to maybe 30% of the audience, buys the fucking pay-per-view, buys WrestleMania. But can you believe if you go back in time?
I told you before, I sat here on the floor. You used to be able to turn the volume all the way up on the pay-per-view channel if you didn't order it, because it would be all static, and you can hear the feed lightly. And that's how I watched one of the major pay-per-views. I think it was Mania 15 at that time, because I couldn't afford it. They were so expensive, $60 each time, $50.
But imagine, and $8 or $9, $10.
Exactly. I listened to static on a TV with JR and the King coming through.
Yeah.
That was my just to sit there for 3 hours and listen to it. Never mind watch it, because you can't afford it.
WWF Radio,
I imagine
with
what
Gorilla Monsoon. Remember
Gorilla?
Remember WWF Radio with Gorilla Monsoon?
Yeah. The good old days.
You could listen to the radio. You could listen to the pay-per-view on the radio. That was it.
Yeah. And I would have killed to have an option like that. That was always my biggest gripe. Why do they have to be so greedy and charge so much money for these shows,
Yeah, so it's like Vince doesn't even understand that, though. Like, what? So, like, and I know that everybody's like, well, now that they have the network, they don't care about whatever. Why? Because if you, like, I mean, I guess because, like, what? There's like 2.4 million people watching, and there's about 1.8 million subscribers on the network.
Yeah, that was the most recent report that we went through. Was 1.8 million subscribers on the network. That's a really good retention.
Yeah,
when you
that's
consider
not
that.
well.
It used to be 8 million watching some Mondays and 400,000 buying the pay-per-view.
But you know what? Most of those subscribers, I bet you like 30% of those subs aren't really active viewers.
They might not be, but I don't believe that's counting the free month-to-month either. Remember when I don't have it in front of me, but I remember reading off that report, the quarterly breakdown for their stock earnings.
Right.
And I don't think that counts the free trials and the free months. So it was 1.8 million paid subscribers.
In my opinion, based on the market we're in here and the viewership we're in, if WWE was writing compelling weekly stories that carried you week to week, and also built towards a pay-per-view that made you go, I need to see what happens. Because we're right now at the point where you basically don't have to really watch Raw. You can either watch the build or the end, and then you don't need to watch it. So then you just watch the pay-per-view. Once you see the first build, the first week or the first part of the story, you're like, all right, I get it, whatever the fuck, I don't know. I know the pay-per-view, all right, they wrestle. Like, that's how people feel. So that's why Vince is saying, oh, like, we'll not tell them what the matches are. But it's like you're coming up with the solution to the problem that you created. Like, you don't need to be doing that. So Vince is right with, hey, if we don't tell them, like, yeah, no shit, that's true. But the reason why they aren't watching isn't because of that. It's because you don't have good stories. People don't like them. And in my opinion, they're missing out on $60 million a year. From my numbers. It's $60 million a year that they would have if they told stories that were like, wow, I've got to see what happens with this. I've got to watch because of this and this and this. Now, there are some people saying, oh, I got to watch because of Bray Wyatt. There are some people doing that. They're like, oh, I'll watch because of Bray Wyatt. But now there's a lot of people that are like, all right, I get it. It's not as good as I thought. Like, so they don't need to watch anymore now because of Bray Wyatt. So there's no week-to-week stories. The Lana and Rusev, all that type of stuff, even though that's been like a pretty well-done thing in a way, not a lot of people are like, I got to check it out to see what happens with Bobby Lashley and Rusev. Like, there's nothing going on. There is nothing happening right now that's making me go, I'm going to ask my mom. I'm going to ask my mom for TLC, for the WWE Network. Or I'm going to tell my wife that that I'm ordering the Wrestling Network again. Or I'm going to go back to watching the network. Like whatever category you're in, kid, in college, struggling with money, or an adult balancing your budget, or a kid relying on your parent to do it. Whatever it is. There's nothing that's making any of those categories want to be in the WWE Network, really, or allowing that door to open. The only people that are watching are the casual fans who just love it no matter what, and the old school fans who just can't let go and want to watch old stuff. So, like, if I wasn't doing this show, I may still have the network. Because I constantly go, I want to go watch that match from whatever. I want to go look up this.
Oh, I would still have the network, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't be tuning in, at Sunday at 8 to see TLC.
a little bit of the bubbly.
It would be
Want some bubbly?
a far cry from what I do now.
Oh, fuck.
Bubbly. That's it.
Here comes the bubbly, Jake.
Can you play the clip The Blade, the Butcher, and the Bunny shit is hilarious?
Robert Heller, thank you for the donation, man. The sound clip that I have? I think I know what you're talking about. When they first showed up.
The Blade.
Oh my God,
Who?
that's the Blade.
The Blade.
Yeah, here it is. This is just not how you call it, man. It's so wrong.
Favorite.
Can anybody hear me right now? I can't see my, what are you guys seeing on your screens right now? If you can see me. Can you guys see me? I don't know why, but Streamlabs Mobile isn't working. I can't see anything. It's black? It's back? It's black? What's going on? You see my massive dong, baby? Can you see it? Black screen? Yeah, I don't know why, but I opened up the Streamlabs app and I see no camera. It says no capture source added. So I don't know what that means. Yeah, when I went to play that clip, I don't usually play things. But as I went to double-clicked on the file, and the whole computer froze. And my computer froze and then shut down, so I lost connection to everything. So sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. I apologize for the interruption and for the problem. Obviously, my computer is jacked up. And I guess I can see some things on the screen right now. I'm trying to look to see what I can see. And I see that some of it's working and some of it's not. But yeah. I see balloons. I don't see anything. I'm looking at the black screen too. Let me see what else I can do here. I see the donation ticker. I don't know why my camera's not working. That's the weird thing. It says no capture source. I don't know what buddy mode is. What the fuck is buddy mode? Camera enhance. Doesn't even say that I have a camera right now. Not really sure why I don't have a camera screen. I don't see red balloons, though. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see red balloons on mine at all. What's up, everybody? Yeah, so sorry about that. We were going to be ending the show soon anyway, but I was going to stream on Twitch, just hang out and stream some Diablo. So I don't know why the Streamlabs has such a problem. It's got to have something to do with why Super Chats were reading in that weird voice tonight. So I assume that, the reason why Super Chats are reading in the weird voice is because some kind of update is happening with Streamlabs. And I'm on my cell phone right now on the Streamlabs app, and it's just weird. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why we can't get a video image or a picture over here. It's very strange. No capture devices found, it says still. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means. I mean, it means we can't get video. But I don't know why. What's buddy mode? I don't know what the fuck buddy mode is. But I'm gonna back out of it. Yeah, I have no idea why this is happening and why it's the video's not working. Big Fuego Jacob. I don't know if I can play Madden tonight, but I'll try maybe. Man, this was really weird. Alright, let me try to go live again from my computer. My computer's back up, so let me try to get the... I'm just going to play some games probably, everybody, just for a few. So feel free to hang out. And if you're new to Twitch, hopefully you guys can go over to Twitch and check out Twitch. My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/JoeCroninJCS. At some point, it's James Worley did it, yeah. It's probably him. The bastard. Frost, what up? Hector, what's up, Hector? Elias Korea. What's going on, guys? Thanks for sticking around, too, by the way, everybody. We had a crazy night tonight. I don't know what happened, but we went to... we had 1,265 people tuning in at one point, which is one of the... you can see that on the screen there. It's one of the top live numbers for Out of Nowhere. We've done, a lot of 800s and 700s and 900s at once. But to see 1,265 be the peak current, that's a pretty damn good number. If you can see it.
Probably be able to see me now. Let me just try to fix the screen here. There you go. It's weird how seamlessly I could transition from my phone right back to the computer. But yeah, the computer crashed, everybody, so hey. Thanks for coming back in and checking it out, for being here. But yeah, this is a big amount of people, man. We had 7,200 come in. I mean, we've done these numbers before, but it was a big show, so by the end. So thank you guys all for tuning in, for hanging out, and for hanging out with us, man. It can't be said enough. We really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody who was donating and all that crazy shit that was going on earlier. That's much appreciated. And it's actually really pretty late compared to what I thought we were going to stay up for. So, thanks for listening. I'm sorry my computer crashed, and we will see you guys. We'll see you guys later. I will be on Twitch right now. I think for a little bit. I don't know how long, but feel free to come on over to the purple place. And we'll see you guys over there. I should probably end the stream just because of the computer shit itself. My bad, man. I was almost about to end the show, too. I had to fucking play that clip. That clip fucked us. All right, I'll see you guys. See you guys over on twitch.tv/JoeCroninJCS. with probably just some fucking Diablo or something. I don't even know if I'm gonna go over there. Got to get up early. Got to go record something.